Hello, 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 gamers. Welcome to Laria League. We have Kuman versus Qin Kais. I am Desk One Laffy here to provide you with the usual for picks and bans, and joined with me is Exact, the wondrous Kuzumbo main.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
As we get things started, normal so far. We see AMC coming out for Qin Kais. Something that is getting nerfed in a few days may not warrant a ban anymore, but still highly strong pick. We see Hades also coming out. Well, of course, standard ban. Character has been banned in SPL. And a lot of people just don't really want to face him in the current double stacking meta we have. Human and Zoomin currently opting to ban Thor and Daji, two very prevalent jungler picks, of course. Thor, super strong after the wall change. Qin Kai's opting to ban Vulcan, maybe a little bit of a target man towards Baron, since he has been kind of maining Vulcan recently, I'm going to be honest, and that Vulcan is quite a danger, so I can respect it in some way, and Vulcan is kind of strong, as he also did get nerfed in the bonus balance, not just a little slap on the wrist, but nothing too much. Emoji ban is also something that's normal, something that not everyone really does, but of course a good emoji in the right hands will always be absolute devastation. Kefri Pig coming out, and that's actually kind of surprising that because Qin Kais opted to ban for Vulcan, that means that we do see Kefri actually getting through. Of course, a strong contested pick. Just Scarab's Blessing just always being a very strong ability, being able to bring back one of your teammates at just about 40% of their health. Oh, absolutely lovely.
You can't go wrong with a reviver.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Kefri doesn't really bring in early game pressure with what he has, but he is always still a solid bug. We see Kuman and Zooming coming out with a Baba Yaga and Cupid Snaplock. Those are, of course, well, they speak for themselves, really, as Cupid also, once again, getting
Cupid is a hunter I've been seeing more and more recently. Like, every single game I play, there is a Cupid on the enemy team.
Yeah, and there's kind of a reason for that. Cupid always having really good clear with Hard Bomb, which did get a little bit of a nerf, and Fields of Love just being a massive AoE cripple, which also, once again, is getting nerfed in the upcoming patch.
And it's quite thankful for that, not gonna lie. Neja on Qin Kais.
Well, whether that means that the baby will stay prevalent, I think he still quite will, but who knows. See, Neja and Camazot's coming out from Qin Kais. Camazot's very likely heading in the solo lane. Camazot's very, very strong solo laner. Not, I would say, yeah, just about roaming top 5, and especially with, once again, recent buffs that he's been very prevalent in being able to both flex and both damage. Being able to flex as a bruiser character, so he's able to just get away with a lot that he can do, especially with Essence Drinker. Rounding off the bans for... Yep, rounding off that ban with a solid pick. Ganesha synergizes really well with Cupid, helps him out with his early game, and is just a lot of setup. He can guarantee home sweet home and all sorts of other things, and even deny Kefri from being able to use Scarab's Blessing.
Very powerful Guardian, especially when it comes to peel.
Kuman and Zoomin opting to ban Yu Huang, standard ban, and Artemis, something that I think... Artemis is kind of a pick that's kind of, I think, slept on, but kind of understandable in a way.
Surprised we haven't seen an Ishtar ban, though.
Nice to see she's been removed. Guan Yu and a Willish coming out from Qin Kais. A Willish, something that would make sense in terms of home sweet home, knocking back enemies, and Ganesh remove obstacle knockup as well, but I'm not so sure on banning it yet. Yeah, you also get to be able to pull Camazots for free from his Devour, but I'm not so certain if that would be something that I would be opted towards looking at.
Kuman and Zoom Ao Jungle.
Ao definitely a strong pick, of course, and once again, recently... there seems to be quite a trend with recently buffed characters, I think.
Yeah.
well, I mean, if they are recently buffed and they are strong, then of course you just want to pick them. They're the top of the top. You gotta see them as they are.
Not to
How
mention he has a
come?
really good setup with his ultimate as well.
Yeah, and Ganesha being able to force out beads with Ohm means that probably we're going to see a lot of setup for Dragon of the Eastern Seas. And he does okay. He can trade with Najah fairly well so long as those crits are handled, but
Not to mention, Kwang counters Capri perfectly.
yeah, being able to take away that Scarab's blessing and resetting onto other lower targets nearby. Now, interestingly enough, we see Assault and Kali coming out from Qin Kais, meaning that they're running a triple assassin comp.
I wonder where Kali is going.
I think I'm more interested in where Najah will be going, if anything, because likely that Camazotz is going solo. I can't see the Kali being anywhere but the jungle, so maybe we're seeing, like, unless it could be a Kali ADC, and we could be seeing Najah in the jungle instead.
Maybe
There's a lot of there's a lot of theory crafting. There's a lot in the air, but for all we know, it could also be, say, Camazotz mid or Najah with a Najah solo and a Kali jungle. Camazotz mid, relatively strong pig. Was played before in SPL, as far as I know. But I mean, looking at something like what are you thinking, like, in terms of this Najah? Like, what potential could it have with the rest of the comp that Qin Kais have?
To be fair, I've been seeing Najah in different places than just the jungle recently. But, like, yeah, for example, solo lane sometimes. But I'm not entirely sure this is going to be the case. I think Kali could potentially go mid or even ADC.
Today I am judge, jury, and
Last pick to round off the composition for Kuman and Zoomin will be Tier in the solo lane. I think Kuman and Zoomin have a fairly standard draft when it comes to, well, what we're looking for, what synergy they want, what setup they want. Qin Kais just seem to have something. They have a powerful composition, but it looks very confusing from from like a visual perspective in terms of these. I guess in a
quite
sense,
late game oriented, for sure.
Yeah, certainly very late game oriented and very from just a view perspective. It's just really kind of confusing because you see three assassins and it's like,
Indeed.
well, where are they gonna go exactly? Which one? How could they swap it up?
I can't really wrap my head around it, but to be fair, if I could bet my channel points right now, they will probably go on Kuman and Zoomin.
Yeah, do you think Kuman and Zoomin have a lot more better opposition late game than Qin Kais potentially have?
Question is, can Qin Kais even get to late game? With how much Kuman and Zoomin will have power early game.
That's very true. I mean, of course, Baba Yaga is the only... Baba Yaga and Ao Kuang are the only characters that kind of stand in terms of, like, early game stage into the late game, but on top of that, we also have to think about Capri-Kali combo. Capri-Kali combo is just one of the very strongest combos I've been potentially seen, because of course, Kali has 2 seconds of not being able to die, and if you could just give that and then give a Capri Scarab's Blessing, of course, boom. Kali can just... It is a very strong combo, and I think we're probably going to see a lot of that late game as then Camazotz will transition towards looking for single picks, maybe even Najah looking for single picks as well.
But that combo can be quite easily interrupted by Ao Kuang coming in with a well-precise ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure this is going to be a very interesting game. I'm excited to see what Qin Kais is going to do with this setup.
Yeah, it certainly is a unique setup, and I don't think that's something that's appeared yet so far. So we'll just have to see how it'll end up performing at the end of the day. I think that will be just about all we have to say at the chair, as we will transition into the game, and that will mean that you'll be with Chair 1 and 2, Eastern Lofty.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first game of KNZ versus Qin Kais. Excited to see how these teams perform. Obviously, we've had quite a lot of roster changes. It's definitely a different draft. What are you thinking, East, of the measure mid?
I think it's quite smart. It's tough to dive a Baba Yaga and Cupid, especially with the Ganesh's the support for Peel. So being able to dive them with 3 assassins is very, very strong. It just means that you can force a lot more relics, force a lot more abilities, things like that. So I do quite like it.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting pick, and hopefully it goes well for Nope. Qin Kais definitely have a hell of a lot of dive on their team. I'm slightly concerned that obviously Soul might be left on her own, but then I guess you've got the Kepri to peel out probably one of the best guardians in the game for peel.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's not even necessarily needing the ult to do so. I think as long as the Soul's next to the Kepri late game, they should be fine for Peel.
Yeah, definitely. One weird pick I thought that was slightly strange was the Owl Quat. I know it's got the XQ for the counter on the Kepri, but I don't tend to see much of it in comp.
It's definitely a comfort pick for Yeet on Denene. I've seen him run it a lot. Plus good into the Kepri. Takes care of that revive with the execute available, so makes sense, I guess.
See the relatively new start. Jungle's going straight to totem, fighting over totem. Nothing crazy there. Bit of pressure from the Soul. Mannequin's Soul's always going to bring a ton of pressure in the duo lane. Pushing the wave under tower already.
Yeah, I think they have to look to pressure out this duo side really to start off the game. Try and run it through there because the Soul's just going to have so much pressure, especially into a Cupid. It's a really good matchup.
Yeah, definitely. And you just see the solo lanes battering out. And a first blood solo kill Zats onto Albi. Nice and easy for Zats in the end. Nearly full health. Unfortunate to die so early on there.
Yeah, there's the strong trading from Kamazot, especially with that Warrior's Axe over the Tainted Steel Tia. Tia's struggling to clear the wave with a Tainted Steel early game. Especially first couple of waves, and then just Kamazot's just beating him down there, really.
Yeah. Kamazot's one of the better premier brawlers in lane. Can't really match his sustain. You can see Albi's already struggling with his mana. Tainted Steel, I know it's a good item, but I hate the lack of mana sustain. Especially when you have blue buff.
Yeah, the MP5 isn't lack of MP5, should I say, is unfortunate. It's something you've got to get used to when you do that start. Unfortunately, I'll be not really a solo player, not quite used to it, I don't think. So it's going to be rough, especially if this blue invade comes off here.
Yes, that's already level 4. And the blue buff is successfully invaded by Qin Kais. Already a really good start for them. Getting the pressure in both duo and solo.
It's going to be a very rough lane for Albi now, I'm afraid. No mana, no MP5, and the teleport is down for another 2 minutes, so I don't see where the mana is going to come from.
Yeah, I'd like to see Morton focus the solo lane. With Soul being Soul and getting so much pressure into Cupid, I think that lane should be fine. Pentacle, one of the premier souls I've seen. One of his pocket picks, shall we say. Definitely like to see the jungle focus where Qin Kais aren't going to necessarily get all the pressure.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good idea, especially since you can generally leave Naja on their own in mid. So if the Kepri stays around dual lane with the Soul, there's no real threat over there. So yeah, running it through solo seems like the best option to me too.
Yeah, definitely. See, yeah, Nezha and Baba still even. Nothing really to report there, and so I feel like Nezha might struggle clearing the way. He's gone for the Bluestone start. I do normally see the Death Toll in mid. Not necessarily to get it upgraded, but just for the sustain in lane, you end up taking a lot of poke when you're face to face with the minions.
You do. I do quite like what it adds to your clear. Plus, it has HP5 and MP5 on it, which does help with that sustain. It's the main two I've seen from assassin mids generally are Bluestone or Warrior's Axe.
We see a gank onto Nezha, and the ultimate comes out, but the beads are forced from Nope. And Morton's going back in, but not really feeling the damage from Home Sweet Home. It's just going to back out. It's good force on the beads there.
Yeah, good force on the beat, but at the same time, it did seem a little bit forced in terms of a fight. It could have very easily backfired.
And Albie doing well to secure his blue buff. Tier 1 of the better solo laners to secure buffs, with Fearless being such a good ability to do so.
Yeah, for sure. Just having a look at the builds, I didn't really see anything too out of the ordinary from what we'd expect. Med may be a little bit strange on Kepri, but I think it's fine. But maybe with all that healing on Qin Kais already, I'd be looking to build a lot of anti-heal on Kuman, so maybe the med's a little bit strange there because of that.
I'm going to assume the med's probably there for the execute. So obviously you execute through shell and things like that. But if you can get a med off just to save your carry from an execute, I think can work out quite well.
That is true.
Yeah, definitely a good point about the anti-heal. So much healing on the side of Qin Kais that's going to be counted.
Yeah, especially with that Tainted's coming already on the tier, and I'd expect the Divines coming in mid very soon.
Yeah, definitely. Good pressure or good control over the dildo and left for Kepri. I think he's had it. Or he's obviously carrying it right now.
Yeah, it does definitely help with early pressure.
For sure. Solo lane just battering it out as always. I absolutely hate solo lane. Boring lane.
It's so fun and interactive with the ways that you can kill each other.
I hate that. I want to see this Nezha just focus on farming for now and hit the late game. I think, to be fair, Nezha obviously did get buffed, and with Heartseeker also getting buffed, I think Heartseeker is such a good item on them, just for those proccing items.
Yeah, with the maces getting a buff recently as well, Naja's items are really strong, especially in a full damage build.
Actually, a solo kill on the duo lane. Pinnacle getting aggressive on Plush. Definitely winning the trade in that regard. Both ults have been traded, whilst there's also a fight in mid. Nothing actually, nobody dying, nobody falling. I think that was LB securing his blue buff again. So Kuman definitely doing good to try and stalemate the early from the first blood, but they are getting the Scorpion and Blade. Definitely going to help. You see a nearly 2k gold lead already for Qin Kais.
Yeah, I'd like to see him try and look for an early Pyromancer when it does come up. The only issue we would have is their secure is not there, I don't think, without the soul. So I'd like to see them try and fight, force an advantage, force a pick, and then go for the Pyromancer.
Yeah, definitely. I think their comp sort of revolves around just around objectives, fighting, and not leaving it up for secure. Without that traditional mage in the mid lane, I'm just going to struggle with secure. I suppose, Soul has got a ton of damage in her ult, but might just be a little bit risky.
Yeah, maybe so.
Unfortunate miss on the dash there from Ordered Mess. Not being able to duke it out. And see the dildo going down on the left again. I think that went to Pentacle. Already want to potentially another fighting again, but gang pentacle from Yi under Nene. Doesn't quite have the damage this early. Alcrong isn't known for his early damage, that's for sure. Pluck onto Yi, but I think he's going to be safe here.
There's not really too much to talk about. Every sort of skirmish that happens, no one really dies from it, apart from that first blood. So it does force them both to, well, forces Soul to back. Cupid's going to stay, it looks like, but apart from that, it doesn't really do anything.
We do see a slight XP lead for Qin Kais. Oh yeah, and nearly 2k gold lead, just shy. So yeah, definitely playing around this early pressure pretty well. Without any real fights happening, that's a decent lead to have already.
What I am concerned about is if this game goes super late game, if this Ganesh can get some good silences off on Naja or Kali or even Kamazots, they could definitely be blown up. They're going to have to be very careful around Capriult and very on it and things like that. Otherwise, they might struggle in the late game.
Yeah, definitely.
We all know how OP backliners are in the late game.
They do be pretty OP. See, again, nothing too crazy happening. Potential Gankon's Pentacle here with Yi and Nene in the jungle, but to separate such a strong ability, just going to get out for free there, losing half HP, but Soul definitely got plenty of life still to get that all back pretty quickly.
Yeah, give that another wave, and it's almost like the gank won't have even happened.
Exactly. Got level lead in mid. That's perfect. Sort of exactly what you want to see from the Nezha. Just want to keep farming. Oh, and potentially a solo kill on the duo lane. Is Pinnacle going to fall down to Plush? Not quite. That was out by the skin of his cock. Honestly, so close. And just about survives. And is even going to secure his purple buff. Look at that.
Yeah, I think if I'm pushed there, I've got to check at least to see if that purple's up. Although it does look like Cupid might be starting gold. No, maybe just E-warding.
Starting better over in the end. It's a good job not to die there and left. I think that could have had pretty big repercussions in the end, losing that pressure in duo lane so quickly. Look at potentially. Oh no, nobody's posturing around Pyro. I thought thought Kuman were potentially going around it, but deciding better of it, getting the oracles, Kins.
Thing I would like to see is if Kins do look for that fight with that gold lead, I would like to see Kuman try and take that fight, because whilst Kali does have an AXP and gold lead, there's not actually too much damage online at the moment. Either jungle, golden blade, hastened, it's not too much damage.
Yeah. Oh, and the Capri ult coming out. Okay, I'm not sure if that was necessarily needed.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. And you see Kumanar starting up the Gold Fury. They are going to have a lot of burn with the Alcong jungle. But Qin Kais do know everybody's here. Looking at Tyrol comes out straight onto the Soul. Stacker needs to be careful here not to get picked. And Albie's taking a lot of damage. He's already at half health. Ganeshol comes out. Albie's so low. Solo comes out onto the back. Kamazot's going absolutely buck wild. Albie's still alive somehow. No idea. And there we go. He finally falls. That's picked up the kill. Cupidol comes out onto Zats. Plush Rush caught in an awkward position here. It gets ulted by the Nezha. Oh, Yi on Danilo picks up Morton. And Zats gets a double kill. Plush Rush falling as well. Kai about to fall. Triple kill for Zats. Another kill for Soul. And that's for one. Kin's going to look for the Gold Fury now. That is a free Gold Fury.
Yeah, Zat's gone absolutely crazy there, really. Only, well, 2 anti-heal items online at the moment in Shadow Steel and Divine, but I don't think Shadow Steel's a good item, personally. It's tough to apply it. You can only really apply it to the person you're auto attacking. That's it. So
Yeah.
I'd much prefer a brawler's contagion, Ankh, something like that. It just makes it really difficult to actually plan to heal this this Kamazot. So Kamazot is just going a little bit crazy in the backline right now.
Yeah, Kama definitely hit his mid-game power spike there with both Trans and Blackthorn being online. That's a huge power spike for him, and it's a good rotation. Over now 2-level lead in the solo lane after that triple kill. So, that's an unfortunate lane now for Al. I think he might struggle fighting into the Kamazots, definitely.
Yeah, and just look at what it's done to that gold lead as well.
It's
Gold lead going up to now 5,000 gold. XP at 5,000 as well. That 4-for-1 trade plus gold Fury is just completely swung the game in favor of Qin Kais.
Yeah, you can see on the net worth, Kama's 2k above tier right now. It's a scary solo lane. I wouldn't want to be facing that myself. He's just going to one-shot, and I believe it's pretty much full damage currently. Yeah, outside of Warrior's Act and a bit of health from Blackthorn. It's really good from Qin's just playing around their lead, going for the Scorpion, not letting Kuman get anything.
Especially with this Kepri pick as well. They can overcommit, and it just doesn't even matter because they've got Kepri res to fall back on.
Flash Rush nearly falling there to Pinnacle. Very, very close. Soa's now got 2 lifesteal items, and he's going to be hitting like a truck. Measure ult comes out onto the Ganesh. Does he have enough damage to kill him? Oh, it does look like potentially he does. He's so low. That's the shell out from Ganesh as well, but Dash just saves his life. And Yeet is there as well to prevent any follow-up. Oh, you see the damage from Baba's coming online now as well.
Yeah, this is where Baba's going to start to swing, really. I'm assuming that a Soul Reaver soon to come out. Already got 10% pen from the Warlocks. I think it's 15 flat penetration from the Divine. It's going to be a lot of damage coming out. It's only going to get more as the game goes on.
That's an interesting decision on picking up Warlocks over Thoth. I've seen a lot of Thoth recently with the recent pen buff to it. And Zats does secure that blue buff.
Yeah, I believe the Warlocks is just a personal choice thing. I think Chiron prefers the extra health it gives, a little bit more survivability, and of course percent penetration rather than just the flat penetration from Book of Thoth.
Late game is definitely gonna help more than the flat pen, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Both teams are just stalemating at the moment. I think the gold lead is slightly going up. Qin's playing off their lead very well. Just keep getting in the gold and taking all the neutrals and things.
Yeah, they're doing exactly what they need to do, really, which is fighting over that neutral farm and just increasing the gold lead, because they know that if Kuman and Zoomin step up, they can just kill them because they're so far ahead. That gold lead now looking at nearly 7,000. In fact, it's just above 7,000 gold. So they can just do whatever they want, really, at the moment, as they look to posture around this Pyromancer.
Yeah. I'm slightly concerned for Kuman, where Carly's level 15 already. Oh, Ganesh comes out over the Pyromancer. Qin Kais do manage to secure it. And Albi's super low, but is he able to get out again? He's so low. He looks like he's trapped in the corner. Sakura, the Kepri picks up the kill. Solo comes out. Tons of damage from the Baba ult, but not quite enough. This Kamazots is so far ahead. Is able to kill Yi on the Nene. And Kuman running away with the tail between their legs yet again.
Yeah. I don't know. They got the pyro. They should have just got out. They couldn't quite get that clean disengage, and it's leading into this Fire Giant call.
Oh, and a good pickup onto Ganesh. That's just a free Fire Giant, if I've ever seen one. Flash Rush probably doing the right thing at this point, just split pushing, getting what he can. He might be able to take the purple buff as well. Yeah. More, it's pretty low, but we'll survive.
Maybe
Fire
King
Giant.
Kais need to practice tanking a fire giant. I think quite a few knockups and pulls and things there that shouldn't have been there. But
Oh, Plush is caught out by Zat. Oh, that's a level 17 Camazotz. That's the Aegis. Possibly might have been a waste using that. Oh, if Zats hits an ability. There we go. Got him in the end. At level 18, 6-0 and 3. That's going to be rough. I don't think anybody's going to be able to kill this Camazotz at this point. He's such a dominant pick when he's ahead.
yeah, very very rough, especially given that the Kamazot is ahead of everyone else in the game in items, in gold, everything like that, and then has that ult and the Kepri res to fall back on if needs be. It's just not going to get killed anytime soon.
Yeah, definitely not. It's a really, really good performance from Qin Kais so far. Obviously, there are so many roster changes, and they've been looking a lot better since. A lot more cohesion, I think, and from playing around each other quite well. I think the comms seem to be quite good, from what I can tell. Target picking and things.
Yeah, from what I know, this team scrims a lot. They
Yeah.
know they put a lot of thought into what they're doing. They're not just scrimming for the sake of playing games. It's the scrims have a point. There's always things they're working on, things they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And they've clearly thought of a game plan here. The Naja mid, the Kamazot in solo, putting pressure around the solo lane early. It's clearly something they've thought about doing before the game.
Oh, and it's going to get soloed by Morton. Oh, it's a level 18 Carly. Carly's getting hitting the classic Carly late game at the moment. Oh, good Ganesh. Kepri is taking a lot of poke. Pretty decent defense from Kuman on this tier 2 so far. Feels like does come out. They do definitely need to disengage now. Cameron's going buck wild in the back. But out of hell come out, and the Kepri ult again coming out. Potentially not needed there again, but we move.
Overestimating the damage that a tower does.
Yep, yeah, I think so.
Especially to a Kepri with that many prots, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I don't think they're going to be under much pressure. I think it looks like Kins are probably just going to be looking to take all the towers.
Yeah, if I know a King Kai's call, it's take all the towers, take all the farm back, and then go for the next fire giant.
Exactly, that's definitely Morton's input there. Likes to play things slow and safe.
Yeah, not a risk taker, which is it's a fine way to play.
Yeah, definitely. Kepri
Definitely
red
the
buff.
safer way to
Now
play.
I'm scared.
Yeah, that two's going to be swinging with the prot shred late game.
OP. Morton on the tier. Rough. He should be able to get out. Yeah, Yeet on Denene is there. That's a lot of poke from the Carly already.
Yeah, I quite like what this Kali's doing, really. No one can contest in the 1v1. So just kind of running people down the jungle alone. Potentially could get picked if they group up, but it doesn't look like Kuman have been doing too much group in this game, so
1700 crit from the Nosha. Don't want to be hit by that. Ooh. Yeah, the Carly's also built Kins and Exy. Obviously, two items that are in the meta right now, but that does mean that she is going to be able to shred tanks. Not just squishies, but actually anybody in the game. She's just going to be one-shotting at this point.
yeah, for sure. I think this is the stage of the game where Kali's best from sort of level 16 to level 20.
Yeah.
Perhaps falls off a little bit late game when carries always have their relics in fights, but
Morton just casually 1v5ing and getting a kill. And the Kepriel comes out, huge. Oh, and he should die for Heart Bomb. There we go. Tyrell comes over the wall. Potentially good fight here for Kuman, but I think Kins are just too far ahead. They don't really care. They're just saying, no, we're going to win this. And good control over the team just to back off. Don't want to dive too hard for it and throw anything away. Just back off onto Fire Giant.
Kepri's just so strong that res coming out from over the wall, you don't even have to literally see the god. Just throw the res over the wall and you're chilling really as a support. You've done your job.
Yeah. Kepri ahead, well, Kepri on a team which is ahead is got to be like the best support in the game because, you know, it's hard enough to kill somebody who is ahead of you, but when they're just getting rezzed as well, that's just GG. Yeah, you can't. It's you invest so much resource into one kill, and he just gets the free res. So.
Yeah, what I would like to see from Qin Kais in the next few scrims is learning how to tank Fire Giant, though. Some knockups coming out that it happens to us all, in fairness, but it's happened a few times this game.
Yeah. And 11-1 now, huge gold lead. I think Qin Kais probably could go for Phoenix, but they might back off and just reset, go for left, especially with Plush there, just split push and forcing the backs. I think they'll probably be going for the left Phoenix now.
Yeah, it was. It was good of Plush to push that there. It not only forces it back from Morton, but it just means that if they do take go for the Phoenix in right, that solo side Phoenix, it'll be a 5v4 in favor of Kuman, so they're gonna have to back up, and it just delays that FG timer a little bit. Also allows Albi to come up here on this solo side, get a little bit of farm.
Yeah.
Try and get a little bit closer to level 20, because when that tainted breastplate comes online, it is a massive power spike in solo.
Yeah. I think if I'm Kins, now is the time to just go full on them and look for an end. You know, everybody's got their upgraded starter items now, and not a single one of Kuman have hit level 20. So, you know, you're gonna be hitting so much harder than anybody on Kuman at the moment. And you know, this is the biggest power spike you can get. They should definitely be looking to sort of get a Phoenix, get all three maybe, and end the game.
One thing I would mention in their draft is they do struggle for an engage, I think, especially with ranged damage as well, because they've only really got the Sol, the Naja, quite a, you know, and obviously with an assassin in mid lane, you've not got that long ranged AoE burst damage. I like what they're doing with the split push here. Morton in mid always wins that 1v1, so why not go for it?
Yeah, definitely going to be 1v1, not just because of Carly, but because of this huge level lead. And here goes the engage. Oh, good pull onto Kepri just to negate the damage from Tyr. Phoenix just about to forward so low. Pinnacle is able to finish it off. And oh, there we go. Neja onto the Tyr. Can they just kill him quickly? And Cupid ult comes out. Pinnacle is able to pick up the kill onto Tyr. And Nene needs to get out. And Morton's going just crazy on the back line. Pinnacle is able to finish off Yi under Nene. Capriol comes out onto Carly to keep the jungler alive. They are going for the Titan. It is falling. NoPexD is just trying to zone Kai from doing any damage. And this Titan is so low. Can they just finish it off? It looks like they can. First game goes to Qin Kais. Very dominant performance.
Absolutely, they had that game plan. Run it down the solo side and early, let the soul kind of farm up, and then just pressure out the map with their lead.
Yeah, definitely. That was very dominant performance from Kins, and clearly the the roster changes have made a huge impact. You know, 6-0-5, 3-0-5 from Pinnacle and Zads. That's huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're going to be transitioning back to the desk to discuss the game one. I'll hand you guys back to Laffy and Exac.
Well.
Wow, I'm kind of speechless, honestly.
It's not actually quite a lot to say. I mean, that was as much as that was, not including what happened with the mid-season. Unfortunately, that's the second game ever that Kuman have lost, and that was a really hard snowball.
Yeah, the defeat was absolutely devastating. They just rolled over them, especially with that Kali late game.
As much as I did watch it through, and I can't really say there were too many moments that actually kind of caught me like in there. Maybe there was something for you.
Well, to be fair, I feel like with this game, the first 5 minutes is what honestly decided what how the game went down. Especially that first blood by Camazot that just absolutely started to snowball.
I think there was like just one moment for me when it really got me in an ooh moment because, well, we saw that obviously Morton was able to pick off Denene, but just by himself all alone in the jungle and was able to force the entire team onto them. And of course, he got that Scarab's blessing off and was able to arrive. And Albie, just luckily, did try to predict where that Kefri was and where that Scarab's blessing revive was coming through, and did actually almost connect with it. And it was just so close. If Albie did hit that Lawbringer, it would have probably been Morton dead, especially because he can immediately get that Fearless combo off and just be able to take him out. And that might have changed things a little bit for that Fire Giant setup, but I still wouldn't have probably been enough, unfortunately, to be able to do that. To be able to change like the tides of the game. Sure, it might have helped given Albie a shutdown, a little bit of a shutdown, and may have given him just a little bit of XP, and he may have gotten to 20 just before the end of the sieges, but I
To be
don't.
fair though, I don't think the late game would have been this much better for Kuman and Zuman, considering the setup King Kais have and the type of gods they picked. I don't think that late game would have helped them that much, especially if they got kind of rolled in early game.
Yeah, Camazotz, yeah, all we can say is just, well, Camazotz did what he needed to do, really. He was able to surprise Albie, get that first blood, and, well, from there, Camazotz can just build full damage and will never die. Essence Drinker and Devour. Absolutely powerful tools in being with how much lifesteal and healing they provide that, well, you can just roll it on along. Via Kadusha Shield, increase that healing, and it's just not even anti-heal can stop that at that point.
Yeah, even we saw Tyr going Tainted Steel as his starter item, and that did not really help with just how much Amazon was healing.
You have to when it comes to Tainted Steel, you have to consider. Yes, out of combat brawling is 40%, and that's quite a lot. But Tainted Steel, just as as itself for 800 gold, is only 15% anti-heal. Which means that even though you are healed for 100% of that 15% anti-heal, you're trading out at just about 25% anti-heal, where you have to make out for that difference in terms of raw damage. And because Albie got that first blood, it's just he wasn't able to output that damage, unfortunately, to make up for that difference in 25%, and it just flattered, unfortunately.
Looking at the duo lane as well, early game, Sol and Kepri were absolutely just dominating the lane. Sol with her Mannequin Scepter. We're not really able to, Cupid and Ganesh were not really able to stop them. And they're so...
Cupid had a few moments when they had the sports leave the duo lane into mid. They did have a few moments just where Plush Rush was able to almost just get a few solo kills, but never actually was able to confirm anything. And unfortunately, eventually, with the amount of lifesteal items Sol was buying, it just eventually continued to further go back into her. And I think one of the things that was mentioned during, which I think was an underrated thing, not picked up by the casters, but the meditation on Kepri, something that was a little questioned but still seen as a solid choice. But in the end, it got upgraded in those last few fights to a knockback med. And that knockback med, absolutely, just when Albie would go in with Lawbringer, try to look at Pentacruel, say for example, he would just be instantly met with that knock up and knockback from that meditation popped by Sakura, and of course, it gives a little bit of healing to Penta, but most of all, that 1.5 seconds of self-peel with that meditation from the knockback is just absolutely key to stopping Albie from gaining any pressure or keeping any leverage in diverting a team fight or anything.
Quite the slept-on relic, I must say.
Yeah, I think in terms of everything that we've done here, I think that's well. Let's move on to game 2.
Yes, now this is going to be interesting. Let's see how the bands change and the picks shift between Qin and Qin Kais.
Qin and Zuman starting off with a strong 4 pick as always, and we see Qin Kais making their normal band rotation of AMC. Nothing, yeah, we're seeing fairly the same bands just from last time, and I wouldn't expect much to change, especially on Qin Kai's side, but maybe this time around they may leave the Vulcan open this time, but who knows? But it turns out they will not. They're still looking to get rid of the Vulcan, and I think we do see a Capri ban coming from Qin and Zuman, which is something that I would expect. Capri was very, very prevalent within that game.
Yeah, leaving him open was quite a mistake.
And it's unfortunate because Qin Kais was able to make that decision of being able to, hey, let's target ban and get the Vulcan out of the way, and we can force ourselves to get Capri, and if we're lucky, we can maybe even get Kali through because they maybe think that, hey, Kamazots, we can look at Kamazots and Najar and have them flex pick. See Hades getting banned from Qin Kais, and Qin and Zuman opting to take away the Kamazots from Qin Kais.
Can they replicate him though?
Well, that's the thing. Do they want to take it solo and try to replicate it, or could we see a Kamazot's jungle? You never know.
Since Zats knows how to play Kamazot, he definitely knows how to counter him as well. So I'm interested to see what he will actually pick.
Well, I'm sure we'll find out in a few moments as Qin Kai is looking to prioritize Najar again. Something that I think was interesting and I completely did not expect was that Najar mid. What did you think about that?
Honestly, I think it makes quite a bit of sense considering who he was versing. Baba Yaga and Najar, they go quite well together. Najar can quickly sash her out of the dash and also ult her to secure the kill.
Behold,
yeah, I mean,
fury.
when I looked at their comp, I mean, I was thinking maybe Kamazot's Kali also has potential. It never really gave that sight to me to maybe think, no, Najar can absolutely do something in mid. And, well, we're kind of proven in that. Umoja opted to be picked up by Qin Kais as well. We did see Umoja get banned last game by Qin and Zuman, so now that they were forced to ban the Capri, now Qin Kai see Umoja open and they're gonna take full advantage of what they can get, and here she is.
Can't go wrong, so good Umoja player. I want to see just how good they are at her, because honestly, I can't play Umoja at all. So maybe I'll learn something from this.
To each their own, you just have to learn the abilities eventually. Qin and Zuman opting to take Bacchus and Rama. Bacchus, not a Guardian that I think has been really heavily picked, but is a fairly good pick into Umoja. And Rama, always a very strong ADC as well. Can't go wrong with Rama.
Bacchus 50% anti-heal against Umoja is a very smart one.
Yeah, and the knockback community on Belt of the Gods as well, being able to just walk through Umoja Riptide and being able to continue to stun her, or get even one tick to be able to stun her, and Belly Flop being a very good disruption tool, of course, that knockups will always be very strong in this game, so something like that can cause a lot of disruption to Umoja, but I feel at the end of the day, that River's Rebuke will do a lot more than what Intoxicate will be able to do.
No more nice girls.
Seeing Sol being picked on the Qin Kai's side.
We did see Sol from Pentacruel last game, did what it kind of needed to do. Maybe we could see it once. I think we're seeing a lot of similar comps coming out just from Qin Kai's. They maybe, of course, they have to be of course, they want to look at saying, if it is the saying of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if we're gonna run Nijar again and we're gonna run Sol again, we might as well go all out and do it.
Sol performed very well in last game, so why not? Why change that?
Interestingly enough, from Qin Kais, a band that usually isn't seen but has come out, the Morrigan. Why do you think they opted to ban the Morrigan here?
Well, Morrigan's ultimate can very often change the outcome of the game, especially if you are having problems in your own team. You can just swap to the enemy and get all their levels, all their power, and just absolutely roll. Can be quite a game changer, so Morrigan, definitely a strong pick.
Yeah, absolutely, and of course it makes sense, because would you really want to see a double Camazotz just absolutely terrorizing your backline with a double Bat Out of Hell? Probably not, I'd imagine. We do see Guan Yu and Kakulin bands both coming out from Kumin and Zumin, because they're not exactly sure where that Najar is going, but they are probably very confident that it is going mid once again. Qin Kai's opting to ban Ratatoskr, as we should expect, and Qin Kai's opting to take tier themselves, so they're running back. If this Camazotz is going solo, it seems like they are running back the exact same solo matchup. But will things be different this time?
This will be definitely interesting to watch.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Could we see either the Camazotz once again be on top, or will things change drastically, and will that tier just show, hey, this is how you play tier? Now you're going to have to suffer the consequences, as you're not going to be able to take what you want to do with Camazotz.
Yeah, Kumin and Zuma will have to be taking some notes
No
of that.
god nor demon can defeat me.
Interestingly enough, Kumin and Zuman opting to look at Discordia, something that has been picked a fair few times, but is not exactly mastered to perfection. Maybe Kai will be able to show us that, and of course we see the Robin, which only solidifies that Camazotz is definitely going solo.
Discordia passive, quite a good tool early game, especially on an ADC or solo laner. That can honestly just win you the lane if you have that on.
Yeah, Discordia being able to provide a flat amount of power, and the more you keep dealing damage and the more levels you get, the more stronger that passive becomes. Very fair. It really does make a lot of difference in trades, but we're probably only going to see that Discordia passive for now, just on enemy solo laner. Just on the solo laner, unfortunately. Unless Qin Kai's rounding off their comp with Mercury, which is quite good into Robin, but I don't know if, well, Mercury will be able to survive, say, a full kit of Robin or anything. Robin's still very prevalent and a lot of damage, unless, of course, because, well, Robin can be played solo, unless we're seeing a Robin solo and a Camazotz jungle, which then I feel like, if it is a Camazotz jungle, then that favor is unfortunately in Mercury's end.
To be fair though, having two crit assassins on the team might not be the best play, concerning the Bacchus or even some of the other players could just get Spectral.
Yeah, it is unfortunately, picking Mercury for Qin Kais does unfortunately mean that Kumin and Zuman will definitely look to opt for Spectral, and we very likely will see it from the solo laner and the support, which means that unfortunately the damage of either both Mercury and Najar will be lessened, but whether Najar will opt into crit because of knowing that Mercury will have to go crit is something that may or may not be considered and will be thought into that plan draft in going forward. So we could just see normal full damage Najar for all we know.
I really want to see how the builds will swap, especially between Tia and Camazotz, considering the first game. I
think that those two will definitely switch between each other. We could see either the same things from each other or just completely different things. We could see like the same we could see like opposite builds of like what we saw in game 1, Camazotz maybe running it, opting for Tainted Steel or something, and Tyr opting for Bluestone once again. We just have yet to find out, but one more question I have to ask. Who do you think, in terms of late game, favors in terms of composition?
Well,
Because it seems pretty evenly balanced between the two.
yeah, to be fair, I would not be able to look at late game and say definitely who is going to be winning this one, because on Commander Zuma's side we have Ram and Raven, but on King Kai's side we have Sol and Naja, Tyr, Imoja. This is really difficult to predict.
Yeah, and I like that. I think both teams, in terms of what characters they picked, are really balanced in terms of how it'll favor them in both early game, mid game, and even late game. We'll just have to see how that performs as we go into the game, as we once again leave you with Lockie and East.
Hello again. Welcome back to game 2. Exciting stuff. Hopefully, Kuman can show a little bit more of face off a little bit better against Qin Kais this time. Obviously, a very dominant performance in game 1. What do you think of the draft so far, East?
I think Kuman and Zuman currently have the more traditional comp. In terms of having a solo laner that's actually a solo mage, it's actually a mage, things like that. In terms of which draft I prefer, I would probably say I prefer the Kuman and Zuman draft, I think, overall. What about yourself?
I think meta-wise, I think Kuman and Zuman definitely come out on top there. They've got Disco, got Rama, 2 very meta picks, Ravan and Kamazots. In their selective roles are very, very strong. But I'd say Kins have got picks that their players love. Pentacle loves his soul. Doesn't play much of any other god. Just soul. And then you obviously got Sakura on the Emoja, which was banned game 1. One of his favorite picks, I know. Nevixty obviously going back to the Nezha. I think it was a fairly quiet game for game 1 for him. No kills, but no deaths, just assists. Had some good ults and good setup for the team, but didn't carry the team in terms of KDA.
Yeah, one thing I'm not too sure about in the King Kai's draft as well is they seem to have a lot of setup in terms of the Tier Fearless, the Mercury Sonic Boom, and the throw one, the dash that throws. I can't remember the name. The Naja as well, the Emoja, but the only real long range damage they have is the Soul.
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah,
really see what
die.
they're setting up for, which is why I'm not too sure about this draft. But if they get a lead like they did last game, it doesn't really matter what the draft is.
Yeah. They've definitely got a lot of dive again. I think obviously game 1 worked very well with the dive and heavy dive comp, but I think that comp really relies on snowballing the early and getting a lead in the early, because late game team fights, if it's dead even, probably going to struggle. You don't have the poke that a traditional mage mid would have. But one thing I would say is there is 3 role swaps on the side of Kuman and Zuman. Albi into ADC, Plush into mid, and Kai into solo.
Yeah, very interesting. I think last game Albi didn't look the most comfortable in solo. I think we saw that, and I think it's something that's been mentioned throughout the week, with a couple of people missing from Kuman and Zuman, most notably
UD player,
XX UD player.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Kyron plays a decent amount of solo, plays it well, carrying a ranked game for me yesterday from solo.
Definitely.
Bush probably comfortable in a backline role, mid and ADC very similar, and I've seen Albi play a lot of ADC.
Yeah, he's definitely had some pop-off games in ADC, that's for sure. And as the game starts again, here we go. Yeah, I'm hoping I got big things for Abby. Oh, and back to another pause. Unfought. Perhaps we can go to a break, and we will come back when the game's started again.
You on that nemesis, thinking her shield is pure scale. Walked on the biz, I got my scythe on me. Pray to God, I don't hit it, or you'd be the one on the gray scale. Yeah, spitting buzz, might even though it is shy. Fuck me, I need a new purpose in life. Yeah, welcome back to speed, fountain gang, rise up, run it down, no regrets, spawn back at the fountain. Yeah, fountain gang, Mr. Thana won't get removed from the team, but unlucky we try again. Pure skill flowing down my veins.
Welcome back, and here we go. Pauses have finally ended, and game 2 is about to kick off. I think there's two blaringly obvious things I want to see from Kuma in this game. First thing is a cursed onk. So much healing on the side of Kins. I think it's got to be a must.
I like what you're thinking. I don't know if I agree it's a must. I think it's fine to do. But Disco is very good at applying Divine. Ravana very good at applying Brawlers. And Bacchus with a burp and maybe a Contagion. I think that might just be enough.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, they do have a lot of built-in anti-heal as well, as you say, from the Bacchus. And Disco being one of the better mid laners to proc Divine. It'd be interesting to see how these players perform outside of perhaps their more traditional roles. Kin's getting the early totem again. Oh, Pentacle is so low, nearly falling to first blood there. RB72 obviously looking good in the ADC role. He's been playing a lot of ADC, as you said before. And potentially looking to role swap more permanently. These UD players are really, really good for playing multi-roles. As Kai is potentially able to get a solo kill into Zats for first blood, and he does fall down. Again, the Camazot's again getting the early first blood and the solo kill, but this time the other team.
Kyron just a multi-role prodigy, really. Plays lots of roles very, very well. To a very, very, very good standard.
Sign of a good UD player, that is.
Yeah, there obviously has been a lot of talk about some of the Kumin players moving up to UD next season. But it does just show that Kins have got a very good, strong team too. And they're also prepared, and they're a lot better as a team, it looks like, at the moment. Obviously, with some roster changes, Kumin aren't going to be the greatest in terms of team synergy. Kumin are, Qin Kais, sorry, definitely all on the same page.
Oh, and looking like another fall down. Good stun from Sakura to save Pentacle's life. Definitely would have fallen down without it. Oh, potentially able to get the roll in and kill still. Oh, just not able to find the last auto. But could look for a purple buff invade potentially. They are going back to wave. Don't want to miss out on that precious farm. No Big D looking to get aggressive onto Discordia.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about this Discordia mid. I think if the lane's left alone, I think the Naja could go a little bit crazy on her later on.
Yeah, definitely. It's not the safest pick. Obviously, 3 is quite good for iframing. But outside of that, it's not a very long dash. It's pretty susceptible to ganks.
Especially if that dash goes down, then your Mojo mid-game can lock her inside the ult.
Yeah,
Definitely something they'll be looking to do.
I'm interested to see how this dual lane does for Qin Kais. 2 of the pocket picks. I'll be obviously showing who the superior ADC is for Kuma currently. Managing to out pressure early, and it's Only flop just off the mark, but Morton is coming in for a gank. Beads do come out from Mercury and is possibly able to kill the Rama. He is so low. And Ordmess just trying to catch up and save his ADC from death. But it doesn't look quite like he's going to be able to. Beads come out from Albie. Good beads, and he is able to survive. No, he's not. A good, I don't even know what that ability is called, from Morton. Ordmess trying to get aggressive, though. Does a ton of damage to Pentacle, but he is able to get out on the Disapparate. Unfortunate there for Kuman. Not quite able to finish off that kill. And definitely unfortunate for Albie to fall. But no Big Steve. Oh, he is going to force the apple. Flash Rush is able to pick up that kill. Nice, easy kill in the jungle for them.
Yeah, and a good trade for Kuman. Obviously, originally losing that first blood, but to get the return kill, and it looks like a purple buff invade as well. Definitely good to get that in response.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a huge purple buff invade. Slowing down, getting the solo kill, or not solo kill, getting the kill onto Albie there obviously is big, but losing out on purple is going to sort of reduce the deficit that you're going to be at. And you see, Zats wasn't quite able to get the blue buff invade. Kai just going ham. Doing so much damage on the Camazots. Out of Hell does come out. Morton is in the jungle nearby, does miss the 2, and Mercurial comes out, beats come out from Kai, Tress trying to finish off the kill on Tyr. Tyr is able to get out, and Morton just not able to finish off the kill onto Kai. Just perfectly timed jump there from Camazots to survive there.
Yeah, it's a very interesting matchup, Tyr versus Camazots, because traditionally, Tyr has the better clear, so you clear and then just look to poke the Camazots, but Camazots, especially with the tainted steel, and especially after getting the level lead, can just turn around and fight you and make it very, very difficult.
Yeah, it's hard to find into a Camazotsu. One thing I do notice is he has opted for the tainted breastplate first item.
Yeah, I think it's just to combat that soul emoji healing late game. If the Camazot is looking to go on the soul, it's a better item than Brawlers for sure.
Yeah, definitely. He shouldn't have any issues with his mana being. He's built Trans first item, sort of signature item for Camazot solo. Tend to go more into the damage focused builds rather than full tank. That would feel bad on Camazots.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that stacking items have been redundant in Smite, should replace things like that, and then Hyras have gone and buffed most of them. So yeah, stacking
exactly.
it's clearly not gone from the meta right now.
Kumin are able to get another purple buff invade off. But in return, I think the Scorpion went down to Kins. So probably a net win for Kins. And now they are looking for the blue buff as well. I think so Kai was able to secure that and is actually getting Morton very low. Oh, that's the ult from Mercury as well. Can he just finish off the kill? He is so low. Oh, and the spam laugh comes out from Kai. Not quite able to finish it off. Unfortunate. That would have been a huge turnaround. He's securing his own blue buff and getting the kill. That would have been mad. Disco ult comes out, but just off the mark. Still tons of damage from the 2-1 combo. No Pixie going to be falling low, but Sakura's there with the healing. Keeping him sustained, keeping him alive.
Yeah, good Yamodra ult just to peel out the rest of the damage from Plush and Mess.
Yeah. He was trying to get the red buff invade, but a good collapse from Pentacle to make sure that doesn't go down. Now Kumin are looking at the Gold Fury. I'm not sure Kins are aware. Pentacle is coming over gradually, but has been spotted out on wards. Potentially able to steal it. Disapparate is out already. Albie's just got to zone him out, and Kumin do secure the Gold Fury. Bacchus is super low, but Kin's just a bit too late from the team to really punish them for it.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit lucky there on the secure. Could have quite easily been stolen by Pentacruel on the Soul with the Soul, but not quite in time, unfortunately, for them.
Yeah, I think Albie did a pretty good job of zoning him off. Pinnacle had to ult pretty early on there. Otherwise, he was just going to take tons of damage from Albie.
Yeah. Anything interesting in the builds? Sakura going for Thebes, I guess not seeing too much of at the moment. A lot of people mainly going for Mela Renewal, but it does make sense if there's a lot of healing in that team to go for the Thebes instead.
He is ganking Zats, but isn't able to get anything off of it. They do force out the ult from Kamazor. It's potentially not needed there, but better safe than sorry, I guess.
Yeah, I think if they turned, it would have been needed, but they didn't look to turn. I don't think they quite realised how much camera had taken to the tower.
Yeah. Teleport does come out from Zat, so he's not actually missing out on any farm. Opted for Wing Blades is different to what Albie built last game. I think Wing Blade is such a strong item on tier. Probably only tier, no other gods, but it makes him so hard to kill.
Yeah, there's not many gods you want a wing blade on right now, unfortunately. It is a super fun item, but
Sure is.
just go a little bit crazy on tier.
Good Riptide from Sakura, just showing off what he can do, but unfortunately the sash from Nope was off the mark. Albie has gained himself a level lead. In level leads across the board, sort of for different roles, but also both teams just a level ahead in different roles. Gold is pretty much dead even as well at the moment, so much better for game 2 compared to game 1. I think Kins were already 2k ahead at this point.
Yeah, I think Kuman are much more comfortable in their roles this game.
Yeah, definitely looks like it. I think I quite like the Thebes from Umoja. With the amount of healing that Kins already have, that Mela Renewal might be a bit redundant, but we see a gank from Morton onto Albie forcing out the beads, ult down the lane. Good poke, but nothing more forced. And in return, Kumi are looking for the Pyromancer. I don't think Kins are actually aware of this.
No, this is going to go down for free almost, I think.
Yeah. Maybe looks like they're possible towards it. Oh, yeah, there we go. Potentially a bit of a slip up there from Kins, not to have the awareness of that, not having a ward and Pyromancer after 10 minutes.
I think it's fine as long as they look to pressure out this Rama now that they have no beads. Albie is going to be a little bit vulnerable. So looking at Albie now, I like to see Mercury go back over to duo once that Sonic Boom's back up. Gank again. That way with no beads up, it should be a fairly straightforward kill.
Yeah, definitely. Although one thing I do notice is before that Pyromancer went down, gold was dead even, and yet Kuman did actually get the goal through, and it looks like potentially a solo kill. Pinnacle isn't going for it. He's backing off. I'm not sure. He possibly could have gone for that. He had the minions to body block for him.
Mannequin's very good for trading as well.
Yeah, Soul does have a lot of damage early, and with her recent buffs as well to her 2, she just clears so quickly.
Thoughts on the Umoja breastplate?
It's an interesting one. I feel like when Umoja came out, it was a must, but when her Omi got changed, I don't think it necessarily needed anymore. I guess it's good for the cooldown. Perhaps could have, Pridwin might have been better than just breastplate. Breastplate tends to be more of a solo lane item, but might work out. Sakura is the Umoja god, if you like. And you see the ult in from Morton, an unfortunate Riptide pulling him away from the back line. Slightly unfortunate there. Eat to my words, as I say, Sakura's a renowned Umoja. But no XD going into the sky, taking Kai with him. Plush is falling low and does get the ult onto Zats. Is so low. I think Zats going to be able to finish him off, but Plush does actually get the kill. There's a good riptide from Sakura there. Albi's rotated and managed to kill Pentacle. Crit's going crazy here. Sakura is so low. Ravana roll comes out, and the Rama roll is here for the snipes. Can he hit them? Just off the mark on the last two. Unfortunate. But everybody is pretty low. They are going to be able to go to the Gold Fury again.
Maybe Albi's 990 ping from his arena game earlier maybe coming into effect there with those snipes.
Yeah, unfortunate. Hitting diff, I guess.
I think one of the things I'd like to mention about that last fight is just... Oh, we'll just stop that for a moment.
Yi is able to pick up Nope. Zats is doing a good job to zone away, but with his mid laner dying, he doesn't really have the damage, and it looks like Gold Fury is going to go down now for free. Zats probably needs to get out now. He is in the middle of everybody. But Tyr, so safe. So many dashes. He's able to get out for free.
Yeah. One of the things I'd like to mention about that last fight is just how much work Plush Rush put in. So it often goes a bit unnoticed, especially when you die like in the fight fairly early on. What you've actually done there, but there was a lot of damage that's come off from Plush in that fight alone, but also how much was committed to killing him. Most of the emojis attention, all of the tiers attention, plus other gods looking that way, just allowed their team just to do so much in the back line and get those picks.
Definitely. Even when you die, even just surviving for a long time means so much.
Yeah, that's something that often goes unnoticed, I think.
Yeah, definitely. We're potentially looking to get aggressive, but it is kind of losing the trade at the moment, although Yi is here to gank, and Pinnacle is caught out a bit, but ult comes out. Ravana ult is off the mark. The separate going to keep him safe from the Rama snipes. Can he dodge out the last one? He can. There we go.
He gets used, I think that last one was going to hit.
Yeah, good spot.
Maybe would have killed him, maybe not. Better to be safe, though.
Yeah. The third snipe doing more damage as well also catches me off guard all the time. Koopman having a good heads-up play to try and milk him.
Yeah, we've got to be getting that milk as a support.
Got to be. It's probably one of the better supports for it, being pretty safe with the belly flop. I think.
Yeah, pretty tanky as well with the chug.
Yeah.
Plenty of ways to get yourself out. And going straight back there, we'd love to see it. Get the most milk that you can.
Love to see it.
And straight back there again.
Getting all the milk. He loves it. Flush potentially caught out here. Good stash from Nope, but off the mark with the ult. And now looks like Nope's potentially caught out position. Plush, though, is able to survive yet again. How is he still alive? The Aegis is keeping him alive. Pinnacle has rotated. Where did he come from? So is Albi. Pinnacle is able to finish off Plush. Ordered Mess just going wild. Kai is able to pick up Morton on the right. This fight is in favour of Koopman. 2 for 1 currently.
Yeah, just a massive team fight there from Plush, really. Hitting Morton straight off the ult with the apple, but also just living for so long and forcing so many ult abilities. Just
Oh, and a good start onto Pentacle, and then Albi's able to finish the kill. Zat's just tanky on the tier, but does eventually fall down. Kais 4-0-3. This Kamazot's solo. He's just so good. I haven't even seen much of it recently, but clearly I'm missing out on something. It's working out really well for both teams.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see it banned in the next game.
Yeah, definitely. Pyromancer does go down to Koopman. The gold lead is increasing gradually.
Yep, 3.5k now. It's only going to get more as Koopman look to pressure things out.
Yeah, I noticed the Morton on the Mercury has gone Rage, but unfortunately hasn't got any stacks on it yet. Rage, one of those good items for Mercury, but When you're not getting the stacks early on, it can be pretty rough when you get to late game.
It will stack up eventually. When you get the Deathbringer online, you have a lot more crit. I think it's going to be 60% with base rage plus Deathbringer. So the stacks don't matter too much in terms of actual damage. It's just in terms of that crit chance. So if you can still get those crits, or even just be near when someone dies, then you'll eventually just stack it up.
Albie trying to get aggressive on Pentacle, but Morton is here. Ult comes out. Beads are still down for Albie. Aegis does come out. Should be able to finish off the kill. Oh, he's so low. And Plush Rush, good rotation just to try and zone people off, keep them alive. Plush is playing out of his mind. Having quite a game KDA wise, 2-2, but not the 4-0 and 3 Kamazots. But even in the last fight, just staying alive again for so long and forcing people to keep chasing him. Good rotation there. Mid lane is looking good for him so far.
Yeah, for sure. It's not always about what you put out in terms of damage, but it's about what you can do for your team as well, and especially that passive as well. Early game going to that Kamazots, it's clearly helped the Kamazots. I mean, you can just look at the damage numbers right now.
Yeah,
that passive certainly helped.
Anything more scary than a Fed Kamazots is a Fed Kamazots with a disco passive, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure.
See a 2-level lead for support in favour of Kins, but pretty much everybody else on Kuman is actually ahead in the levels. Flush Rush again, just getting targeted by Morton, but weeds are forced out from the Mercury. All good's done halfway through the Riptide, but Bellyflop comes out and no follow-up necessarily there. Sakura is able to get out, but does take a ton of poke. Kuman are playing around this Gold Fury very well. They do tend to win the poke war just before it. You've got a heads-up play to poke people up just before the Furies are spawning.
Yeah, plus just have to be a little bit careful, a little bit low HP.
Ooh, a good stun from Sakura, and Tyr just going crazy on Albie, but beads are forced out. The Disco ult is just off the mark. Kai is again just diving the backline back out of hell is such a good ability. 3 damage. Can never say no to that. Zats blinks it back in again. And, is he able to finish off Albie? And he is. Great play from Zats. Ordered mess potentially put out. Is able to belly flop away, but the damage from Soul and the slow is a lot. That's again going crazy. They able to pick up Ordered mess in the end. Oh, he's so tanky, but he does fall down to Morton. 3 stack on the rage now. Able to get a purple period for their troubles.
Such a split fight there. I think the backline for Kuman and Zoom is struggling to get involved in that fight really. They were sort of quite far back, quite split off, and it just led to Kins getting a couple of picks and then being able to engage on that backline afterwards because they got that pick on Yeet earlier on in the fight. Then they got the pick on Albie and then just going ham on the backers after that.
Yeah, definitely. And that fight turned the game sort of on its head a little bit there. Kins are able to close up the gold lead. Not quite, you're still just about 1,000 behind, but level leads have caught up. Got a level lead in jungle now. Pinnacle's starting to close the gap on LB again. Definitely a really, really good fight from Kins especially when they're behind.
Yeah, for sure. I think it comes down to that team synergy again. They know exactly how they want to play.
Unfortunate Disco Apple there, just off the mark. Not able to connect onto Nope. But probably not a kill anyway with Pentacle being there and rotating in. Kin's now looking for the Pyromancer potentially. They are posturing around it.
Yeah, with that Disco ult down, definitely look to try and force something now. I don't know if they know the timers, but Beads down on 3 of the members of Kuman and Zoomin, so it's definitely a good time to look for something.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially with such heavy CC tools like Tier Fearlesses, Sonic Boom, Naja ult still available.
Yeah, definitely. We have such a good burn with the on this Pyromancer, but Kuman are able to steal it away. the Rivers Rebuke does come out, zoning loads of people from the fight, and Plush caught out there, unfortunately. Kai Bat of Hell is able to get out safe and sound. King's just trying to look to punish them a little bit after that steal. Really, really good steal from Kuman. And Albi, you see split push on the left. So tier 2 and left as well is going to stay for the next wave. Nope, hands back though, so he's not going to get anything more than that. Whilst Kins look for the Fire Giant. Again, another knock-up.
Yeah, they are aware, so they're just going to drop it now because Kuman were aware. I think they were just trying to catch him off guard a little bit.
Yeah. Deciding better over backing up now. Might have been probably a bit risky there to pull the Fire Giant so early on.
Yeah, it definitely makes that that steal on the Pyro worthwhile from Plush Rush. Stepping up to be able to get the steal, but dying afterwards, you might think, well, if they get FG, it's definitely not worth. But since they managed to push them back off it, the steal becomes definitely worth for them, and it means they've got a little bit more of a gold lead, back up to 2.5k now.
Yeah, definitely. I think this Neja mid struggling a little bit this game. So obviously 0-3. Whilst I think Neja is really, really good at the moment, I think not a particularly safe pick. And for a mid laner, potentially not what you want. When Kuman, obviously one of the more organized teams in GSL, I think they're quite good at punishing that kind of thing.
Certainly looks so this game, doesn't it? With things like the Ankh and the shell available from Bacchus, Plush has just been ridiculous at surviving these fights when definitely shouldn't be able to. Things like that. It does look like they've sort of figured out what they want. To do in terms of cutting off this Naja mid in the dive.
You see 3 players on each team hitting level 20, but Sakura has hit level 16, so is able to get the starter upgraded. So I think Kins potentially should be looking for a fight here, just trying to force Fire Giant potentially, just to where they've got their power spikes. Soul is a little bit behind, but Mannequin's not the best upgrade anyway, so that is beads forced out from Albi though.
Yeah, good beats pick up really. I think Morton's got to be looking for a Sonic Boom on Albi now. If you can catch Albi off guard and he can't get in his ult in time, then it should be a virtually free kill with no beads.
Should be, yeah, definitely. Both teams just trying to get farm whilst staying close to the Fire Giant. No pans back. Not sure if Kuman are aware of that. Yi is stepping up though. So potentially they are aware. And just trying to poke out Sakura. Tyr does ult in, get a 2-man Fearless and a great Rivers Rebuke to lock everybody in. Albi is able to sneak out the back though. And Kai is going crazy on the back. Good belly flop from Bacchus. Picks up, Yi picks up Pentacle. Sakura is super low, but so tanky on the Yamoja. Is able to get 1 stun, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. A double kill from Yi. And Kuman looking like they've won a dominant fight there.
Yeah, Albi's putting out massive damage. Kai's putting out massive damage. Yeet putting out the massive damage, and Plush as well. Not so much in the damage front, but got a couple of good strifes there for setup almost for Albi and Kai and the others.
Yeah, this Rama is going to be doing tons of damage now with Death's Temper online, and Epic D just falling again. Sash such a good ability, but just not got the safety. And there we go, Albi. You see the damage, the crits coming out of the Kins as well. It's just Rama is just going to be doing so much damage at this point in the game.
Yeah, Rama going crazy for certain.
And Fire Giant does fall to Kuman and zoom in.
Yeah, I think if I was them, I'd look to push this tier 1 tower on right. Maybe go for the tier 2, depending on their defense, and then just back off.
Yeah. I think this Kamazotz is just such a problem. Has been in both games. And they really need to try and shut down this Kama because it's such a good pick when you're ahead. You're going to be doing so much damage. He has opted for a little bit more defense than Zats did with the Glad Shield. But, I think protections from ahead is just probably even better than damage.
Yeah, it's just tough to peel the Kamazots really.
Yeah.
Kama's just got getting free reign on Pentacruel Soul here. And with a Emoja support, it's very tough to peel. There's a knockback med, I believe, which is all well and good if you stood next to the soul, but even then you're taking the 1v2, which is something you'd want anyways from a solo. So you're making your team have a 4v3 if you're taking a 1v2.
Yeah, exactly. You just saw the Kamisa's damage firsthand there. Just two abilities doing half the health bar of Pentacruel. The one on the jump. It's just absurd damage for a solo laner.
For sure.
And looks like we're not going to be playing around this trebuchet in mid. Probably just looking for the tier 2. Might look for more because they have the trebuchet. The Kins are fully grouped, and they're going to decide better of it and go for the right one, right tower.
Yeah, I think it's the safer play, isn't it? Get the towers, get a little bit of gold, back off, maybe look for the next fire giant. Depending on how much time they have, they could almost maybe go for the Phoenix as well. It depends how safe they want to play it.
Kins obviously known as one of the more safer teams, but Kumin just more one of the organised teams. So, good blinking from Zats straight onto Albi, forcing the beads straight away. Good River's Rebuke as well, just to separate people from the fight. Zoning out Yeet and Albi there. So far, pretty good defense on the tier 2.
Yeah, Emoja healing coming in big there. One thing I would note is the Kumin and Zoom have only really used the apple from the Discordia and the Ankh, whereas Qin Kais have used both relics on the Soul and River's Rebuke and the Soul Ultimate as well.
Ooh, and again, going on to no XD on the Neja, does eventually fall to Kai. And now little Pentacruel is just showing off the damage on Yeet, but they do pick up the 2-2 tower and are able to kill off Morton, plus being able to pick up that kill. Huge crits coming out, and Zat's probably quite out, but he's so safe on this tier. Bacchus tanking up the Phoenix. Looks like the Phoenix will go down, although Albi is looking to get aggressive. Oh, the crits going crazy. And looks like they might be able to close off this game at this rate. Plus staying on the Phoenix. But just Zat's alive. It looks like it could be game 2 going to Kumin.
Yeah, just forgetting to pick off that that Phoenix first before going on to the Titan, which is it's understandable. We've all done it.
A little bit troll from the UD players, but Yeet is able to pick up Zats, and that is game 2 to Kumin.
Yeah, it looks like we'll be heading into a game 3.
Again, a dominant performance, but this time the other team. I think this Kamazots has clearly shown how powerful it is at the moment in solo, because neither team's having an answer for it. I think it's either a first pick Kamazots or a ban.
Yeah, it's got to be banned, I think.
Yeah. But we will pass you guys over to the desk. Bye.
Hello, 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 hello. Well, I mean,
well.
Once again, Kamazots being absolutely prevalent through both games now. And of course, we did see.
Something I did not expect, to be fair.
We saw the exact same, and of course, for both games, we saw the exact same matchup being played as well. It was like a mirror. They went the exact same thing. We saw Tier rotate, and we see the Kamazots rotate. They're both from coming and zooming, and we see Kamazots exact. Tier with Bluestone this time, of course, but it's just interesting to see how both of them have completely differentiated between each other between those two games. But of course, Kamazots always coming on top, doing just about 7k more, just less than 7k damage coming out between the solo laners, which is, Kamazots is just absolutely a force to be reckoned with. And very surprised if he does not get banned going into Game 3.
Quite the force indeed, especially with Discordia's passive on his back. That helped even more, especially in the early game. Must say,
he had the Discordia passive throughout the entire of the game. He was able to get that first play. Wasn't quite much of a snowball as we thought we would see, like in Game 1, where unfortunately that tier just fell way too far behind, but still quite prevalent enough where it came into team fights, and of course the Camazotz would come out top. Unfortunately, though, for that 20-minute Gold Fury fight, where I think Guman and Zumin just got a little bit too split from each other and a little bit too diverted, and unfortunately that just fell in the favor of Qin Kais as since the members were split, they were able to just pick them off slowly, one by one.
indeed, Kuman and Zumin got a bit too confident there with their early lead, and Qin Kais was able to pick themselves up a little bit, but unfortunately in the end it did not matter as much.
Yeah, and Rama pulling through, absolutely. Even though he only had a singular crit item, that crit was still very strong and came through. And we did see actually Najah still opting to go into crit himself, but just was being punished this time for being Najah mid and wasn't able to get as much engage as we thought we could maybe see, like we saw in Game 1. Just falling a little bit short, and especially with Morton not able to get those rage stacks online for those extra crit chances, not able to get very well precise sonic booms, even in line with, say, a River's Rebuke or a Fearless, and just falling short of the lowest player damage, almost the second lowest player damage in the game, just coming out on third behind both supports.
Yeah, I must say this game has been way more balanced than the first one, and it's been quite a joy to watch. Amazing rotations there made by Kuman and Zumin. That is definitely something that we could have noticed, especially
Yeah.
that Discordia rotates to duo lane. I thought that Albi was there for sure.
Yeah, Albi seemed like they seemed like they were going to commit to that chase, and Pentacle absolutely looking hungry to get any kill that he can get. But Flush Rush just being there for Peel and being able to do a little bit of damage with the unruly magic, and that was actually able to persuade Pentacle to say, well, he's probably too far gone at this point. I mean, I already got hit with unruly magic and I've lost a third of my health. I'll just take my way back to lane and continue to farm up where I can before Albi's inevitable return.
Indeed, Qin Kais is known for playing a bit more safer, so that's why the cheese was dropped quite early.
Yeah, and I think we did see that they, of course, with Zats in the unfortunate position that he was in, and this is probably why we didn't see as much of a snowball, didn't take too many losses with the deaths that in the early lane that we did see in Game 1, what happened within Game 1. So even though, of course, blue buffs were invaded, Camazotz was a lot more quicker to rotations than Tier was, still just not too much. Most of the deaths did end up to the late game, thankfully for the Tier, but it was just a case of when it came to that level 20, of course, Camazotz getting that tainted breastplate and still having absolutely raw damage output from being Camazotz. It's just still a lot more present than a Tier will ever have. Especially since that Tier did not have Manticore spikes either.
Indeed, that was quite the little mistake I noticed, that lack of Manticore spikes on tier, because it is quite a crucial item on him, especially in solo lane.
Yeah,
where
I
you
mean,
can get him off quite easily.
Manticore spikes will always be a very strong and prevalent item, even though it has been reverted back to the previous state it was before it ended up getting the massive base stat changes. Now, with those base stat changes in hand, Manticore spikes still being a very strong and prevalent item, it makes up for a lot, can make up for a lot of damage. Not so much early game, but it still makes up for a little bit early game, but more so prevalent in the late game when more characters have more health and being able to get that 6% of any target's health for an extra 150 damage, 100, 150 damage. It's just very nice.
It can add up quite quickly. Not to mention other teammates can pick it up as well.
Yeah, and for only half the reduced effect, which is 3%, which is still quite a little bit. That's still, if say Morton was to pick it up and wanted, or even NoPixD wanting to throw it out with the ring toss, that's still an extra 80 damage to the first target that gets hit. That's not something to shrug off, really, unless, of course, you have healing. Which, of course, Karen did have himself, through his own passive, Essence Drinker, Devour, Vampire Bats, just everything, basically, aside from Bat Out of Hell and Screech. But, of course, the healing more favored in Sakura, and Zat's more so Sakura, able to provide a pretty solid amount of 10k to his teammates. Definitely was able to keep them sustained in a lot of fights where it could have been so much worse, but it ended out just only a few little costs where it shouldn't have happened, where it could have been potentially prevented, but was mitigated through the healing.
Speaking of Sakura, I've been watching their Umoja gameplay quite closely. I must say the ban, the first game, the Umoja ban was quite justified because some of these Umoja plays I saw, especially the Discordia kill she was able to get with her rather secure was quite nasty, I must say. A good Umoja is just a force to be reckoned with, especially
Absolutely.
with Peel.
Yeah, just a good Umoja, and this is the reason, of course, why Umoja always gets banned, is that a good, especially in high ranked in SBL, if you have a Umoja that just absolutely knows how to set up River's Rebuke, knows how to effectively utilize Riptide, knows when to properly optimize Omi, getting the necessities for getting maximum Omi, getting cooldown for, of course, Omi regeneration, and just a lot of management and strategy in general from Umoja. And if someone's able to just do that right off the bat and do that with that character, it can just spell out an absolute nightmare for the enemy team.
Yes, a properly placed Umoja can be quite game changing.
Yes. Especially with if there's no Phantom Shell on hand, if you aren't able to get out of that River's Rebuke, that's still a 1 second tremble, and that's
Brutal.
It is quite a brutal tremble. It's quite a brutal slow. I believe it's 40%, and even then, being encased within an area that you can't escape for just about 3, 4, 5 seconds. Ew.
Umoja's
It's
ult
very
is
like,
just amazing both for peeling and for securing kills and team fights.
yeah, and I mean that's why it's one of the highest ranked cooldown ults in the game. Sitting at 160 seconds, just along with Valorant, I believe. Both sitting at the highest cooldown ultimates in the game. Valorant might actually just be a little bit longer, but certainly a very good reason for why it's up there. Alright, well, I think that's all we do have to say for that game, and we will be moving on to pick and bans very shortly for Game 3.
What are your predictions, Slaffy, for the bans?
Well, I certainly think that Camazotz it has to go. If it's not going to go, then Qin Kais are probably going to prioritize it again, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's
So,
either going to be a banned Camazot or a picked Camazot. Nothing in between.
nothing in between, but unfortunately banning the Camazotz does mean that you have to sacrifice a ban just to go somewhere else, and that means that, well, you could potentially leave something dangerous open, like, say, Guan Yu. Though Guan Yu has been kind of untouched and has been banned only in second phase of both games. So whether you could sacrifice, say, not banning, well, Thor or anyone else, just to make sure that Camazotz doesn't get through, we'll never know. Of course, though, we are just seeing the same bans from last time, and I'm willing to guess that Qin Kais are willing to ban Vulcan for this third game, or, well, we could see Camazotz from themselves. They may not want that Camazotz.
Honestly, the AMC ban quite baffles me. I'm not sure if that's like if AMC is just such a problem in duo lane lately.
Well, AMC has been always a very strong pick, especially in the mid lane. Mid lane AMC is just a menace to be reckoned with, does a lot of damage, is always safe because of the highs with movement speed, and of course, you have to take into consideration, if that sting is getting hit, that's on a 15-second cooldown if you can pick it up, and it's 20% physical damage, physical protections that are just absolutely shredded. Unfortunately for Qin Kais, we actually see a Rama target ban.
Very
Poor
interesting.
Albie. Poor Albie is unfortunately left in the dirt as his god pool slowly diminishes.
But Kumin and Zuman is coming with the Camazot ban, and Qin Kais with the Daji pick.
And as a result of Kumin and Zumin looking to take away that Camazot from them, that means that Daji hasn't been banned, and they will take it. Qin Kais will look to prioritize and take that Daji. Well, how do you feel about Daji? I mean, of course, she's the first pick, so she is a very threatening pick and does shut down a lot of characters, but you never know. She can still always come out prevalent, even if she does end up getting countered herself. But how are you feeling about it so far?
Honestly, I honestly think Daji is just a super strong pick, and I love playing some Daji myself, especially in jungle. She's just like a Loki with a ultimate on a 16-second cooldown. I just absolutely love the amount of mobility and chase potential she has, especially with the ultimate.
Yeah, absolutely. Powwow prevents a lot of things that you can do, especially being able to just single target damage by being able to instantly pull someone, or just very strong teamfight potential that it has by being able to pull the full teaming if you can get off to it. And of course, there's always going to be things such as being able to chase targets down with Tricks to Spirit or Thousand-Fold Blades, Torture Blades, which just a lot of damage and a lot of slow. We do see Kumin and Zuman do actually opt to take the Guan Yu this time, something that, well, as I said, was left open for all two games. It was never actually picked up, but was banned in second phase. Now we're going to see it shift into action, and we do see Robin as well. Baba Yaga currently being hovered.
Very interested to see Qin Kai's answer to Guan Yu solo. I wonder what is going to be their solo pick.
I'm kind of hoping it will be on the ends of either a magical solo pick such as Cerberus, or maybe we could see something interesting like maybe a Milan or something. We're not too certain yet, but we'll see how they do in response to that Guan Yu. Of course, Guan Yu, one of the top uncontested solo laners at the moment, is, yeah, he's had a fun ride with, well, not even changes to his own character, but just more so itemization, Warriors X getting buffed, Fabless Hoops getting its stat changes, even Tainted Steel to an extent.
Guan Yu's presence has been way more common recently due to the changes and just the amount of potential he has, especially late game for teamfights. His ultimate can easily force beats and chase down enemies. And
now we do see Qin Kais opting to pick up the Ganesha, of course, Ganesha. Very good support, able to shut down that Guan Yu from using Talbot Assault, and may stop that Robin as well from being able to use Mystic Hand Rush or 9-Hand Shadow Fist. Scordia being opted to be picked by Kumin and Zuman, and we're seeing in the last two picks, of course, the common trope of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Robin was able to do well in game 2, and so was Discordia being able to, even just with Contest of the Gods, being able to provide that extra physical damage towards the Camazotz, which means he was just able to produce so much more damage than he was able to, which means that Discordia kinda can just play a little bit passive. She can, of course, provide Golden Apple of Discord and provide a lot of damage, but at the same time, she's passively providing damage just because of Contest of the Gods, and it makes sense. Just pick those two up again.
Not to mention her ultimate can be quite solid when it comes to chase potential and trying to get people to split up, especially in the late game teamfights.
Yeah, Golden Apple of Discord. Hey, it is a type of, it's technically Intoxicate, but it likes to be called Tremble because it's funny. And yeah, just having to get away from your teammates, or even your teammates getting away from you, means that your team can be quite a bit split, and you don't really want to get split against, say, a Robin or even a Guan Yu. A Guan Yu able to take down just any enemy he wants by himself, including Robin. Bans coming up from Kumin and Zuman are Cullen and Cupid, fairly standard. I would expect that Cullen was banned in favor of the Guan Yu being picked, because of course Cullen also really strong top 5 solo laners, and does provide a little bit against Guan Yu in terms of Barbed Spear, being able to provide 50% anti-heal, and if you have a Tainted Steel on top of that, of course that's 65% anti-heal, and that's a lot for Guan Yu.
Indeed, especially from level 1.
But
Being able to apply that 65%.
But that is also a double-edged sword with Cullen, because of course Cullen's main thing about him is Berserk and being able to show the amount of damage he has with Berserk. And unfortunately, Ground Slam, well, the anti-heal does not translate when it comes to Ground Slam, so all he'll be left with is Tainted Steel, and it's once again having to trade that 25% damage output, 25% anti-heal loss with the damage output that you have. Of course, Cullen can provide that with the physical power that he gets from Berserk, but you really do have to make up for it. The rest of the bans coming from Qin Kais are Freya and Geb. Freya is something that Albi does also pick up, and it does seem like Kumin and Zuman's comp were oriented to look towards picking Magical, as we did see the Horus pick. But Geb, I'm not too entirely sure about, but does make sense in a way, because of course Geb is a strong team fighting god.
Quite indeed. We're seeing Charybdis being picked on Qin Kai's side. Quite a safe pick, considering Kumin and Zuman's chase potential, but just have to see how much that checks out, considering how hard Guan Yu, Horus, and Raven can chase.
Yeah, all 3 of those characters are absolutely able to keep pace with Charybdis. Unfortunately, the Maw will probably very likely not save her. But for the moment, it is only being harvested. It still has yet to be locked in, and it has yet to be decided. They could always opt for something else, say Chiron. Chiron can be interrupted, of course, by Horus, but otherwise, it's a very safe ADC pick. Can get away from a lot of the options that Kumin and Zuman have picked. So we'll just have to wait and see, unfortunately. But I think something I want to lead on to more is about the Horus. Tell me more about that Horus pick. What do you think that has potential with it? It does actually, turns out, it does become a Charybdis, and we see a Hercules pick coming in for the solo lane. Now, I was going to have you focus on the Horus, but now I'm more interested in focus on the Hercules. Talk me through that. Why would they pick Hercules in this scenario?
To be fair, I can't exactly say I'm sure about the answer, but Hercules can verse against Guan Yu quite well with his one being able to stop Guan Yu's free and hinder his ability to clear. But the question is, what will be the first ability pick by the Hercules?
Well, I mean, you are certainly right in that regard, but there's just a lot of issues with that matchup. Unfortunately, Guan Yu should never be picked up by Earthbreaker because, well, he has 2 knock-up immune abilities, both in his dash and in Talo Assault. So not really favorable, and especially when Hercules has to use Driving Strike mostly at this point to clear the wave. And for level 1, I would expect, if we do see Driving Strike and he is focused on the Guan Yu to try and poke him out with cancelling Talo Assault, that's fair enough. That could absolutely win trade, and especially with the Hercules attack speed and passive buffs that were provided to him recently. Tainted Steel Hercules could do well, but is probably not something that will be absolutely game-changing against this Guan Yu. And the last pick for Kumin and Zuman, opting for Jingwei. Very, very safe ADC pick, and of course, a crit pick for Albi.
I can already tell why he decided to pick that one.
Definitely not to do with the explosive bolts inbuilt crit or anything. No.
And no, because she's like super safe from Hercules.
But leading back more into the Hercules, and it just again, yeah, I see a lot more issues with that matchup. As of course, Hercules, even though the meta does currently favor Hercules, Hercules does really struggle as a character, and in my opinion, totally not biased opinion, by the way, because Laffy solo laner moment, haha. Hercules just falling about in the bottom 5 solo laners because, well, mostly being aimed towards the diminishing returns changes, which just really screwed Hercules over. He's able to just produce almost instantly maximum diminishing return stacks just by pressing Driving Strike alone, because for one, it's a hard CC, so that applies one stack. It's then a push, which provides another stack, and then there's a stun on top of that, so that's a third stack.
Yeah.
Never mind mentioning the Earthbreaker in itself as well, providing 2 DR stacks by itself because it's a knock-up and it's a pull. It just unfortunately does not bode well for Hercules, and so he's not able to live up to his true potential, and as he would in this meta, because
Right now,
solely on those changes alone.
Hercules just kind of finds his right spot. He's kind of in between when it comes to being decent, being great, or being just absolutely garbage. He has potential to be good, but it solely depends on the matchup.
Yeah, and as I said, I don't think it is a favorable matchup for that Hercules, and I do kind of think that the composition as well is kind of a little bit more favorable towards Kumin and Zuman as well. Of course, Darji and Paolo and Baba Yaga with Home Sweet Home will be an absolutely deadly combo, and if Charybdis is able to trade versus the Jingwei, could be a much stronger presence as well, but it's just that Jingwei late game, and a lot of Kumin and Zuman's team are able to get away from Paolao, especially if they ever need it, a Horror Assault. So, as much as I do like Qin Kai's comp, I think it is just so much more favored in Kumin and Zuman.
That is true. It will be quite difficult for Daji to be able to get even a single pull, considering every single person on Kumin and Zuman's team has CC immune ults, not to mention Raven has his CC immune ability as well. So probably she will be saving it just to burn beats or burn ultimates.
Alright, well, I think that's everything we've had to say about that, picks and bans, so we'll be taking you once again back to the chairs, Lucky and East, for starting the game up.
Thank you very much. Welcome back to Game 3, hopefully starting shortly. Boy, have we got a game on our hands. I'm excited to see the Baba Yaga, Nope XD, signature pick, usually banned against him. Very good pick for Nope. What do you think, East?
I think there's quite a few things to look at in these comps, really. As you say, the first one, Baba Yaga, Nope XD. Two things that go together quite often. Known for the Baba Yaga, very strong on that pick, very comfortable on it. And Baba's just a very safe god. I think the other things you look at that are quite notable, Guan Yu, very strong with Fey Blessed Hoops. Yeah. Very common in the meta at the moment, often banned. But also Guan Yu with a disco passive. I wouldn't want to lane against that personally. That's how Lower Assault's going to be hitting pretty hard.
Although I have to say, I've played against Zat's Hercules before, and it's scary. He's definitely strong on that pick, even if it isn't quite meta at the moment. I think it's quite good into Guan. Being able to cancel Talos Assault. I think hopefully he'll do okay. But okay, as you say, Guan is very good in the meta right now.
Yeah, as you mentioned as well, Herc is really good into Guan because despite Herc not being a meta pick, the one cancels the Driving Strike cancels the Tolo Assault, but also the Hercules 3 that provides you with a heal and the mitigation. If you pop that whilst Guan's using the 3, it does a lot of it gives you a lot of healing basically, and the mitigation's already there. instead of prots, so it's really good into that too. So you're almost not worrying about the main ability of Guan Yu, which is that third ability. You're not really worrying about that because you've got two things that deal with it quite nicely. So traditionally a good matchup, but as they picked up on the desk, the diminishing returns on Hercules make Herc a little bit of a bad god, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But we'll see
definitely.
how Zaf manages to handle that.
Yeah, definitely. I think Dual Lane's probably going to end up being a bit of a farm fest. Two very, very safe picks. Kriblis and Jingwei. Probably just going to be farming for the late game. Probably won't see much action over there, to be honest.
Yeah, I think solo lane's probably where most of it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I can't see much else happening elsewhere.
Yeah.
Um,
I think. You go, sorry.
I would have probably liked to have seen a Chiron pick maybe instead of the Jingwei. Cleanse the Dargiel, being able to run down the Charybdis, but
Yeah, I see. I get that. Only thing I will say is I'm a firm believer Jingwei OP. So
he heard it from a backliner himself. Jingwei's OP, as are all backliners.
yeah,
Buff solo lane.
No, absolutely not. Fabulous Hoops and Manticore spoke so good right now. But I do thoroughly enjoy critting people for like 1200 on Jingwei. It's never a bad pick, in my opinion. And I say Kuman have got a lot of counter picks, like Ravana into Darji is pretty good. You got Jingwei into Hercules, again really good, and into Ganesh as well is pretty good. It's a really good Jingwei game with the knockups and stuff. But yeah, I think currently we're just waiting for the game to either start or for the spectator delay to catch up. We're going in now. Fantastic. Here we go. And looks like Kuman are sticking to the roles they had in game 2. Definitely looked a lot more comfortable with those roles.
Yeah, for sure.
Do in ADC. I'm interested to see the Cryptic Jingwei matchup. I think this should win, but with the Horus support, might be negated. Jingwei, though, once she's got an item online, she can usually clear the wave actually deceivingly quick with the 2-1 combo. So, should be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange lane, really, because Horus is looking to aggress and get early kills and pressure. Xingwei kind of looking to just farm up. Bit of a boring lane, but
Yeah,
two contrasting styles, really.
yeah, that's definitely true. And we are finally seeing what's probably going to be the Book of Thoth start from Nope. Clearly, this man's in touch with the meta and getting Book of Thoth. OP item right now, in my opinion.
Has all blackline items.
It does actually, yeah. Like we were saying, Horus getting that early pressure, and is able to pressure out, get good poke onto Sakurai, but good return damage on. I think it's the Maw. I don't know. I don't know what it's called. The one on Charybdis is able to do so much damage early game and is able to clear the wave really, really quickly. If you are able to step up to it, though.
Yeah, Bracer popped as well from the Ganesh. I do like the Bracer pickup. I think the placement could have been a little bit better there, but it's not the end of the world.
I think Bracer's definitely slept on. It's one of those items that's just really, really strong. As Morton's looking to potentially cheese gank the duo lane, decides to go onto the Horus targets a little bit different there. I think maybe you should have focused on one target rather than going on two different ones. Unfortunately, did not get the kill, and Morton will probably fall behind, spending time in duo lane so early on. But not the end of the world.
Yeah, fantastic knock-up from Albi as well on the Jingwei just to peel out for the Horus there.
Yeah, definitely. And nothing else too spicy from the builds. Looks like Warriors Axe is definitely becoming more meta for the solo lane starters. Sitting on most solo laners now.
Yeah, I think it was the right pickup for both of them in this case.
Yeah. And looking for a blue buff invade already. Oh, and Zats is able to get a knock up though, but might potentially cost him his life. And looks like he was able to secure the purple. Oh, good driving strike into the tower. He takes so much damage from one tower shot this early on. And does finally take over to level 3. Zats is able to secure his blue buff as well. Look at that. Hercules already showing. Yeah, he's got a masterclass on him.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunate on the blue with invade. Maybe you could say that one of them should have been zoning out the Herc really, whilst the other did the buff. But the gun was a little bit low for that, so I'm not too sure. Definitely better secure needed. Unfortunately, you've got two of you there. If you time your abilities, call it out. Should be getting that buff really.
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunate to drop that kill. Or drop that buff, sorry. And nothing too spicy going on at the moment. Jingwei looking to maybe get aggressive, but just currently having a bit of a poke war. Good dash from Ganesh, but no real follow-up with the whole wave pushing up. Oh, good poke onto Cryptus. Albie nearly diving into tower. Morn is here again though. Potentially able to get a kill onto Albie. Tons of damage coming out, but is it going to be enough? It looks like they are able to finish off the kill. And Morn hits level 5 here. Potentially able to get a double kill onto Ordered Mess as well. And he is. That is a huge start for Darji.
Yeah, great gank really. Could say it's lucky that you get level 5 there, but you're always going to get something, whether it's a wave or a kill, and obviously that's led to the level 5. Horus no ult. Could have perhaps shelled, but
Yeah.
I think the Horus was always going to die. Maybe shelling the Jingwei might have been the option. Also, I'll be not using beads when he was slowed.
Yeah.
Maybe if we use those relics, maybe one or both survives, but we'll never know. But good stuff from Qin Kais.
Yeah. It's definitely what you want from your Darji early on. Darji's such a strong pick in the meta right now. And definitely what you want. It looks like Plush just going to get poked out a little bit. Neither team's looking to fight too hard. Oh, Pentacle might be getting soloed here. And if we hit the mark... Oh, good turnaround on the ult. Oh, and a solo kill from Pentacle. What a turnaround. That is absolutely incredible. Penta Goat. My God. That was a fantastic turnaround. I really thought Albie had killed him there, but the Sound Circus phenomenon is showing his worth and really popping off.
Yeah, Pentacruel showing that they don't just have Sullen the God Puddle, also a Charybdis too. Right there, some
Yeah,
great dukes as
outstanding.
well. Duke out the autos from Albie.
I don't think I've ever seen him play Cryptus before, but looking really good on it so far.
Yeah,
The lifesteal
absolutely,
coming in
102.
clutch there as well. Cryptus been such a good god for using Death's Toll with the 3 autos. You know, getting so much sustain off of it. There we see
One thing I would be looking for if I was Morton and Pentacruel here is the Jingwei used beads there. They're down for 90 seconds still. Daji ults up. If you can try and force the Jingwei ult, you can easily get a kill here with the is it Paolo?
Yeah, Bao.
Daji ult, yeah.
And as you say that, it looks like Morton is here for the gank. Potentially able to get the kill. Is he able to hit the mark? Oh, it's just out of range there. Or as we say, there's a fight going on in mid, but lots of ults used, but no kills. And Nope and Sakura is able to survive that.
Just a little bit preemptive with the ult, I think, unfortunately. Could have perhaps. Oh wait, there is a beads on Darji, so not quite being able to get in the range. Maybe if there was a blink there, could have perhaps secured that kill. But
Yeah. I think something a lot of Dodgy players miss, which I'm sort of surprised about, is when you obviously use your 3 and if you turn around, you can then sort of body block whoever you're teleporting to. Which I don't see many Dodgy players actually do for some reason.
no, it is very strong for sure. And it might have helped in that case, maybe not. But
Yeah, obviously Jingwei did ult pretty much straight away, but probably wouldn't have helped in that case. But something I've just noticed recently.
what do you think about the Sov on Hercules?
It's definitely a lot of sustain. I probably would have preferred to see something like breastplate for the mana and the cooldown, or glad shield. I think he's going to be incredibly tanky and pretty impossible to kill at this point with Warrior's Axe and Solve already. It's a lot of protections. As you say, another gank onto Duralane. Horus is ulting, is not able to get out. NoPixD has rotated in, showing off the Baba Yaga masterclass, and just ordered Mess getting bursted down too quickly. He did go for the Gauntlet of Thebes again. Only with the 1 stack, not very many protections currently.
That was a melee renewal. You got to be wondering whether Mess would have died there.
Exactly. And Hercules definitely doing pretty well in this lane so far. Sort of, out pressuring the Guan quite well. Got able to get into the Talos Assault. I'm not sure if Guan's leveling the dash or the 3 at this point. I think you can't have got to max the dash first when you're laning against a Guan. Otherwise, you can't clear the wave.
Yeah, I think I would agree. One thing is worth mentioning. Qin's currently running the map really over Kumin. Jungle presence Morton is currently a level down, but involved in 3 out of the 4 kills that we've seen so far. To be fair, was involved in the 4th as well, just didn't get credited with the assist for it. And has put beads and ults and things on cooldown all the way across the map, really putting a lot of pressure specifically onto the duo lane.
Yeah, Morton's having a really, really good game there. Kuman are able to force out the Baba Yaga roll, but just backing off as soon as they do, and it's probably a good job with Morton and Sakurai just around the corner, potentially looking for a Pyromancer now. And looks like Kuman might not actually even step up to it. It's good to see go down for free. Yeah, sort of what happened to Kins in game 1. Sort of just letting objectives go for free a little bit and not having the awareness to spot it out. Oh, good poke from Charybdis onto Albi. Is he able to finish off the kill? Not quite. Jingwei just so safe. But now it's a 2-level lead in the ADC role. Pinnacle sort of doing really, really well game 3 so far.
Yeah, Pentagoat, maybe.
Pentagoat, maybe, yeah. Enter UD? Question mark. And what else we got? We got a level lead from Baba in mid lane. Morton is still level down, surprisingly, but like I said earlier, he's doing so much for the team so far. Burning beads, having the presence on the map. Can't really argue that he's done anything wrong. So far, he's done a really, really good job.
It's one of those annoying points when you're a jungler, isn't it? Really, that you've given up your back camps a couple of times to go and rotate to fights, rotate to buffs, things like that. At least you're getting behind, but fortunately the team is capitalising off it at the moment. Qin Kais is currently 2.5k gold up. I know when you do this stuff in ranked or even in your comp games, it doesn't quite go as well, and you're left a level or 2 down as a jungler. It looks bad on you, but it might not actually be your fault.
Ooh, Ganesh off the mark. Horus is coming in. Can they secure the goal for you? And Kins do secure it. And Babarol comes out. Morton is at half health, but potentially able to pick up somebody not able to get the kill. Ordered Mess solo. Crypt Assault is able to stun and is able to pick up LB72, and Ordered Mess goes down. Plush does get the apple onto Nope, but Penta gets a double kill, killing off Yeet as well. Plush running for their lives. Kins, again, a really, really dominant team fighter. 3 for none. And the Gold Fury.
This game's starting to look a little bit like game 1, isn't it?
It sure is.
Things getting a bit out of control now. Almost a 5k goal lead. I think by the time this tier 1 tower's taken down, and by the time the respawns have come in from Kumin and Zoomin, it's going to be looking at 5.5k now. It's starting to look a little bit rough.
You can see the net worth charts. Everybody on Kins is ahead, apart from the support, but that's expected. 5k up, 3k in XP. It's looking a lot more like game 1 this time around.
You do have to wonder. I think when it gets to the late game, I think Kumin and Zoomin do have the better draft. It's just if they can get to that late game at this point, because Adaji with the lead is very, very scary. Baba Yaga with the lead is not going to die. Charybdis with the lead, not going to die. So it's just a little bit one of those where, can they get to the late game? If they can, they should be fine. If they can't, it might just lead to the game being over.
Yeah. I do have to point out that at the start of the game, we thought that it was just going to be a farm fest in the duo lane with 2 incredibly safe picks. But so far, it's just been constant ganks, constant fights, solo kills, in duo lane, and it's not what I would have expected from these 2 picks. I would have thought everything would have been around the solo lane.
It just shows how good we are at analysing drafts, I guess.
I guess we need to be in Harpy division. It's nobody's even looked at solo lanes.
No, the solo lane has just sort of been there, hasn't it? Things have happened,
Yeah.
I guess.
I guess
Supposedly.
Hercules and Gorn are probably 2 pretty safe picks. Hercules so tanky, and especially with sovereignty, and Gorn with the ult, easy escape.
Yeah, for sure. One thing they could look to take advantage of late game is the Hercules not having beads, obviously with teleport blink.
I'm looking to get aggressive on Yeet here. As the beads forced out by Ravana, Kin's looking to get aggressive, but it's good pick on the beads there. Definitely worth it just for the Darji ult.
Yeah, I think the blink might have been used too. Which is a little bit unfortunate.
Now they're posturing around this red buff. Are they able to secure it? It does. I can't even tell. Whoa, and Nope just gets blown up. Kumin really turning around this fight. Morton is so low. Good stun from Cryptus to try and peel. But Yeet is able to finish him off. Albie just going buck wild, and crits are going ham. Good peel from Pentacle. They are splitting up, so it's a good decision from Sakura to go towards the mid lane and not bring the team towards his ADC. But that does look like potentially a Pyromancer for Kumin.
Yeah, fantastic Strife, and then the Disco 1 as well from Plush Rush. Doing a lot of damage to both Nope and Morton. And then a fantastic ult from Ordered Mess to be able to catch up with Morton on the Darji, get that CC off in order to kill him.
Yeah, definitely. So Apple used by Discordia there, but for the price of a Scorpion and Pyromancer, is definitely not complaining. Sakura potentially caught out, but is pretty tanky at the moment with Meloriniu and Sov. There's 2 Sovs on the team. Not the worst.
No, I don't think it matters too much. One's obviously going to be in the front line, one in the back line, so I don't think the prots-wise and the passive-wise, is these auras, they aren't going to be stacking on top of each other most of the time. So it doesn't really matter that they don't stack, because they're not going to be on the same players, really, so...
Yeah. One thing I noticed, Albie's gone for Wind Demon second item, an item that I don't really tend to see too much at the moment. So many nerfs hitting it, you don't get much stat-wise for the item anymore. Obviously, it used to be a pinnacle item for pretty much all hunter builds, but not so much anymore.
Yeah, I think the main reason is that you'd expect to see a Shadow Steel Shuriken there if they were going crit, but it's not really that much to anti-heal on the other side. Like, there's a hack maybe, but you've already got a Divine Ruin.
Mark again, and are they able to secure? Yeah, they are. That was a bit messy, but they are able to secure the Gold Fury. Ordered Mess is going to fall as well. Morton picks up that kill. 3-1 on this Darji now. Absolutely stellar game. And, yeah, again, the gold lead increases 5k. Red buff invade as well. Exactly what you want to see from Kins. You know, just keep snowballing their lead.
Yeah, back to where they were before, really. Back up to that 5k goal lead.
I think that's a bit of a bold play going for the Fire Giant there. Especially with your ADC and left, but starting better of it. I do get the Trebuchet again, Kins. Says 2 Trebuchets in a row.
One thing I am looking forward to is when these 2 solo laners start making the rotations over properly. Because I think Guan is just a better team fight solo laner and just a better solo laner in general at the moment. See if the impact that Kyron can make is going to be enough to sort of help his team out, given that the team's currently losing the game, currently 5k down.
Comes out from the Ganesh. They are able to pick up Ordered Mess by the looks of it, and that is Dargiel for Disco Ult. The Ordered Mess getting picked a few times now. It's 0-5 on the Horus, traditionally a safer pick, but he just I suppose it's better him being 0-5 than anybody else on the team. Just taking the damage and taking it to the face for his team.
Yeah, it's a lot used as well. Daji beads, Daji ult.
Yeah.
A lot used for it, so I'm not too concerned about that really. Just kind of what happens in sport sometimes.
Yeah. Albi is able to pick up the tier 1, but I'm not sure if he's noticed two backliners rotating towards him. And he's able to get the silence off. The Aegis comes out from no, but and it's a good jump away. The house comes out from Baba Yaga as well, but he might just be out of range. No, he's not. He's taking tons of damage. Is he going to fall? He is. Maybe does pick up the kill, but Horus and Disco have rotated over. And Ravana as well. They are able to get a return kill onto Nope XD. A good stun from Horus, but not quite. Ganesh is peeling as much as he can. Isn't quite able to finish, keep his ADC alive. Apple off the mark again, unfortunately. Looks like probably going to be able to pick up Stacker. A good heal on the Meta Renewal. Hopefully just going to waste their time as much as possible. Might even be out.
Go back to the
Morton is rotating. Morton is probably able to pick up Yeet here. He dies the tick damage and potentially able to kill the potentially able to kill the Disco. Ordered Mess. There we go. Falling again. Morton 6-1 on this Darji, having an absolute incredible game.
Yeah, smart of Sakura to go back to the Bracer there for the extra movement speed. Really, kind of kept him alive, and also allows that extra time for Morton to get there. We spoke a lot last game about Plush Rush surviving on the Disco and baiting so many abilities for the team. Albi did the same there in order to get the kills onto Pentacruel and Nope, but then Sakura doing exactly the same as well.
Yeah.
To let Morton come in and kill Yeet in the Ordered Mess.
Yeah, looks like Penta is rotating over to this Pyromancer. So potentially Kin's looking for it. 3 members still in base for Kumin, so now's the time to go for it if you are going to go for it. They are starting it up. Looks like it's probably going to get down for free because Kumin can't rotate in quick enough. And there we go. A free Pyromancer yet again.
Yeah, one thing I am slightly concerned about is even though there's a 6k goal lead almost for Qin Kais, is currently the only anti-heal they've got is a Pestilence and the Brawlers. They've got an Ankh, but it's not upgraded. And it only lasts for 8 seconds once in a team fight.
Yeah.
But no divine on the Baba Yaga into Guan, Ravana, Horus.
Yeah, I think Baba's also one of the better picks for proccing Divine as well, with the ult in spreading so much damage across the team. It's really, really good. And we see the King Kai's actually starting up the Fire Giant, but looking for the fight. The house does come out from Baba Yaga, doing tons of damage to Albie. Albie solo is more than able to finish off the kill. Not quite. Plush gets a good apple onto Zats. And Kai's going crazy on the back. Is Panther able to lifesteal through him? It does look like it. Morton does get picked by Kai, and Horus is ulting in. Panther's able to pick up the kill, but does die to Ordered Mess. Albie solo in the air. No Pixie does pick up Yeet onto Nene. Albie so low, getting chased down by the Ganesh, but looks like potentially that might be it from the fight, unless Plush gets picked up here. Oh, Zats does get a good knock-up, but Plush, again, with that iframe on Disco, so strong. Able to immune out the driving strike.
Yeah, these Horus ults from Mess have been really good so far, just going in there to help the team, pick up a couple of extra kills.
Albie's going
Healing
crazy
as
with the
well.
crits, nearly killing Nope. I've noticed as well, the Disco's been iframing the teleport from Darji. Sort of, perfectly timing it for when Darji teleports and he dashes, and Darji isn't able to teleport. Really, really good mechanical play there.
Yeah, I believe it puts you in combat as well, trying to use the 3. So I don't believe you can blink afterwards immediately either. I could be wrong on that. So
I have no
using
idea.
the immunity frames for that would be quite useful as well. Just delaying Daji being able to get into the backline where she needs to be, really.
Yeah. And still 5k gold leader, hasn't sort of budged from there. Both teams sort of farming equally as well. I'd like to see Kins potentially try and sneak this Gold Fury, as long as Zats or whoever is around the Fire Giant to prevent Kuman from snapping it up.
Yeah, I think as long as Kuman can delay the game, I think they're fine. It doesn't really matter if the goal lead goes up or stays the same, goes down, whatever. As long as they can delay this lead, goal becomes less and less important late game. Once teams get to almost full build.
For sure. You can see Sakura here. Oh, just able to dodge out the apple. Oh, that was close. And Plush now potentially caught out of position. There's a lot of damage on Plush, and he does die to the ticks on the powwow. Horus does manage to get the ult out. There's a lot of ults expended. 4 on the side of Qin Kais, and for 2 on the side of Kuman.
Yeah, it's one of those where you don't really mind it too much. It's 4 ults down for a mid laner who's used beads, but that's it. Every other relic for Kuman hasn't been used. You've still got all those. You've still got most of the ults. You're not really too fussed about it. They've taken a gold, but you're already down gold anyways. So at the end of the day, it stops the other team from doing Fire Giant still. They still can't do it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, good driving strike. To get out of the CC chain there from Horus. We see most people are hitting their level 20 power spikes, apart from the junglers, getting their starter items upgraded. Especially on Kin's side, I think it's just a lack of gold on the side of Kuman. Quite a few of them hitting level 20, 2 of them. I'd like to see Kins try and push this Fire Giant now. It does look like they're posturing around it. Now they've got the power spikes. It's sort of perfect time to go.
Yeah, normally I'd be questioning Albie's choice to go for the Deathbringer over the pen here, but not too tanky on the other side at the moment.
Yeah, it's I think Deathbringer is okay when you're behind. Obviously, you normally go for it last, but when you're behind, you kind of need it early. And because he's got Wind Demon for the crit, he needs more crit to get that pen. So Deathbringer is probably a very good item here. Just where he hasn't got the gold, but it does look like into taking down the Fire Giant. It is nearly down. It's really, really low, and they do secure it. Are they going to look for a fight afterwards? Probably not. Just sort of grouping up for this tier 1 and right.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about I'm not too worried about the the defense either from Kins right now. Their Phoenix defense is not the strongest. Horus all good for a re-engage, I guess, but for actually defending the Phoenix, not that great. There's not really that many tools that you're looking at thinking that's brilliant. If it was the other way around, you've got the Baba Yaga house, you've got the Darjil Ganeshal to help you defend, but the team comp from Cumin not that great at defending Phoenix sieges, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I think Disco can be quite good, but outside of that, I think they are going to struggle. If Disco able to just chuck the 2-1 combo over the walls. If you hit a good Disco combo onto multiple targets late game, you just sort of insta kill anybody that you hit, because especially if you hit it on the ADC and they're autoing the sort of their teammates.
For sure. One thing we have seen as well, this Hercules was building into what looked like a Spectral, opts to sell it and go for Wingblade instead, which is interesting, into a Jingwei with Deathbringer Wind Demon.
Yeah. Questionable move there. I think I definitely would have opted for Spectral personally. The later this game goes, the more damage this Xingwei is going to do. She is a bit of a hyper carry late game. Autoing people for thousands. So, yeah. I think Wingblade's an okay item, but probably not what I would have gone for personally.
It's definitely a good item on Hercules, but
There we go. You see the poke from Disco there. Half of Morton's health bar straight away with just 2 abilities.
yeah, that goal lead up to 13k now. It's a lot of items difference really.
Yeah. It looks like Kin's doing the classic Kin's move, playing it safe, getting all the towers, and then backing up for the next fire giant. Again, definitely a Kin's play there, playing it super safe.
Yeah, I normally like it because it gives you a chance to spend that gold. You're 13k up, like use that lead, spend your gold, get your starter items online, get your relics upgraded, get that last item, things like that. Play it as safe as you can. But this time, I don't know. I feel like if you're giving the Discordia and the Jingwei and the Guan Yu chance to get all their items done, I feel like you are running a slight risk there.
Yeah. The longer this game goes, the more likely Kuman can pull it back. So, potentially could have probably got a push for a Phoenix there. They are looking to get Gold Fury, so still trying to snowball a little bit. Notice as well with player healing, actually quite low from the Guan Yu. Obviously, hasn't been in too many of these fights yet. 1-on-1, no assist or anything, and hasn't really been involved in the fighting compared to Game 2, where Kai had an absolute incredible game on the Kamazots. Had a quiet one this one.
Yeah, also kind of separated off from the team in fights, dive in the backline, not really playing around the team to heal too much.
Yeah, I think Guan is probably one of the best solo laners for sort of fire giant fights as well. Pair him with like a poke mage and just play around the poke, play around the healing and the sustain. He can be really, really hard to deal with.
Yeah, for certain.
War of attrition and things.
I think it's something that Kai's probably got to focus on the next couple of fights, is playing a bit more around the team, especially with the Warriors Axe, the heals. There's a reason you've gone that build.
Oh, it looks like Kins are going for the wraparound. Burning the beads from Albi. He's already at half health. Horus ulting out. Only pulls himself, though. Plush sort of left to die with the rest of the team. But looks like Zoom might be able to turn this around. Morton is solo. He's going to fall down to Ordered Mess. And Yi is able to survive. Kai now left alone is probably going to fall with solo. Nope does finish him off. Ordered Mess now. Potentially caught out, but not quite. Oh, and no, XD is able to finish off Plush as well on the right. A good 2-for-1 fight there in the end. Looked like it was potentially turning around for Kuman to win that. But they are able to get a Phoenix. I'd like to see them all just go straight to fire here.
I was gonna say it's a good trade for them, but then Plush died, and it became a slightly less good trade.
Yeah.
Um,
Surprised that Nope and Zat backed there. I didn't see what they bought, but probably sort of wanted to back for items. Probably a lot of gold in hand, but probably could have got the EFG if they all stayed. So not sure
yeah, they
on
backed for
that.
relics, I think, which I'm not sure if I think that's worth. It gives
Yeah,
just them a bit more time to get. It gives Cuban a bit more time to get back around the fire giant. Obviously, they've still got 2 dead, but you can probably expect Kai to be TPing in. It's going to be there quicker than normal, really.
yeah. And again, goes back to the super safe sort of decision making from Kins, and Zat's potentially caught out, but the healing from Herc 2 or Herc 3, sorry, is just absurd. You know, able to
Yeah.
attack up so much.
Still no
So,
penetration on the ADC Albi as well.
yeah, he really needs to get some online ASAP. Looks like a good fight from Kins here. Kai trying to do what he can, but is now left to the Wolves. Zats is able to just kill off Albi, just going ham in the backline. Flash probably going to fall eventually. Well, Aegis comes out, a huge Crypt Assault. Pinnacle picking up Kai and no Plush. Morton now finishing off Ordered Mess, and this looks like game.
Yeah, it looks like game to me too. I'm not sure there's much that Yeet can do here to be able to defend the Titan against 4 members strong. Not really counting Sakura because of the health bar, to be honest. But
Yeah. It looks like Titan is going to fall. Yeet is just probably going to try and save his KDA. Not really much he can do here, unfortunately.
yeah, he's kind of chilling, saving the KDA really.